Championship weekend. I am Nick England, joined by Mr. Matt Prosser. We are here on the final weekend of the NVA Championships. Four matches today, 4 quarterfinal matches, 8 teams playing for the 2021 NVA Cup. Got a great match to start us off here, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time out in San Bernardino, California at the Pierce Sports Center. We're going to have Southern Exposure out of Orlando, Florida, taking on Chicago Untouchables coming out from the Windy City. This is going to be a great match, Matt.
Couldn't ask for a better start to this day. You know, these are going to be 2 really evenly matched teams playing for some pride. Obviously, looking for that ticket to the semifinals tomorrow. But, you know, first and foremost, they've got to take care of business today.
They really do. The way the format's going to work for the weekend is it is single loss elimination. So today is going to be the most important day, win or go home. When it gets to semifinals tomorrow, there is a third place match that will take place on Sunday prior to the finals. So as long as you win today for your match, you will punch a ticket to get at least 2 more matches on the weekend. So you lose today, and you're just going to spend the weekend out here hanging out in Ontario, California. So you don't want to have that be your early decision.
It's hot outside, so you might as well be in here playing some volleyball, right?
Absolutely. So we're going to go over the lineups really quick before we get underway here. So on the side of Southern Exposure, we're going to have setter Derek Sullivan. Libero is going to be Kyle D'Agostino. In the middle, we're going to see Uchenna Ofoha. Opposite of him is Tim Lurich. On the outside, Kevin Rockline, as well as Tyler Hubbard-Neil. No surprise there. He's had a stellar season.
He really has, yeah.
And on the right side, Chad Mercado. On the side of the Chicago Untouchables, we're going to see Moises Lopez starting as the setter. No Ian Cap this weekend. That's going to be a big blow for the team. We're going to see JJ Rosa taking the blue jersey as the libero. In the middle, the 7-footer Paul Bolanzik, and opposite of him is Tom Burrell. On the outside, we're going to see number 13, Will Ragland, as well as Jake Milnaziak. And on the right side, their big hitter, Kyle Schwady. So this should be a pretty good matchup as things go, but Southern Exposure is coming in hot. So there's a lot of onus on Chicago Untouchables to find a way to win this match. Matt, if you had to make a call, what's your prediction here?
Yeah, you know, this is definitely going to be a barn burner. I mean, first match of the day, obviously we talked about it, a lot on the line for both teams. They want to play in the semis and work their way through into the finals, you know, to play on Sunday. But I'm going to take Southern Exposure in 3 games, a sweep this morning over Chicago Untouchables. I think they're coming in hot. They've been playing strong. They've got their lineups really dialed in. Key playing from Lou Rich, one of the better middle blockers and middle attackers in the league. And along with their setting and also their back row defense from D'Agostino, really kind of puts them as a full package together.
It certainly does. I'm going to be, I think I'm going to take 3-1 here with Exposure. I think that Chicago might find a way to take a win, but, you know, a quick throwback. We did see a Chicago win back in Atlantic City when this matchup happened during the regular season in a 3-1 matchup. So Chicago Untouchables is the guys that have found the win previously, but at the time, Southern Exposure was finding a little bit of their own stride, their own rhythm. And now, instead, we're seeing Exposure coming off of some big wins on teams like the Utah Stingers, where they used a very unique lineup where Kyle D'Agostino started on the outside. We saw in the middle McDonough, one of their new middles that's played the game for only 3 years,
the
made his start.
Olympian swimmer.
Yeah.
Right. But, yeah, and to touch on the Untouchables, you know, look, they're a strong team, okay, but not having Ian Cap is going to make a real big impact for them today. They're going to rely heavily, obviously, on the 7-footer.
Yep.
Bolanzik, he's made a name for himself as the tallest player in the league and also one of the most dominant offensive and defensive middle attackers in the NVA. But also Jake Milnaziak, right? They need him to have a big match today as well if the Untouchables want to stick around and be playing tomorrow and Sunday. But either way, it's going to be a very competitive and very exciting match.
It certainly is, and look for both of these teams not to be afraid to use their benches. We've got Nick Ramos, number 15, is the third outside for the Untouchables. He might be getting involved if something's not working out. They've also got Matt Buffum on the bench as a third middle that's shown to be very, very promising as well. So, you know, there's a variety of options over there. On the side of Southern Exposure, like we've said, this team has 4 outsides. Not starting is Eddie Mushikian as well as Lev Gershfeld. He's returning from a 2-event injury with his back, so he'll be back in the mix. Also, we're not seeing Langston Payne starting in the middle you can only pick 2 of their 3 all-star middles.
Yeah.
So Langston Payne will be another great option in case they need it. Also expect, we've seen Johnny Gomez, the second libero, who started in the first half before D'Agostino joined the squad.
Yep.
He's been coming in as a serving sub to give him even more passing prowess. So look for that. But this is certainly going to be, I think, a competition not only on the court, but we're going to see coaches Tony Glessner as well as Mitch Wiskershin going at it, trying to find that right combination of players to get them the win.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a really great way to start our final event of the year, the playoffs, right, with these 2 teams. They've done a lot of traveling to get here. They've avoided some tropical storms and hurricanes on the way.
Yeah.
But this is a great way to start the day off, and really excited to see how this works itself out, Nick.
Yeah, certainly going to be a good one. Again, a reminder, Southern Exposure, the 1st seed from the National Conference. Untouchables, the 4th seed from the American Conference. So they will cross match up here in the top side of our bracket. And on the bottom side, the winner of this is going to take on the Texas Tyrants and the OC Stunners. That's the next match following this one at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you aren't sure what that bracket looks like, you'll be seeing it here on the broadcast, but you can go check it out on the NBA USA Instagram. If you haven't already checked that out, we are pushing content out through there daily. Make sure to follow that up. Also, make sure to follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe and like button down below. We do appreciate all of the support from our fans. Make sure to give a shout out if you're out there in Orlando, Florida, or the Windy City. Make sure to show some love for your guys as they get underway. Here it goes. Moises Lopez starts the float, taken by Rockline. Ofoha with the first swing and gets the kill off the high hands of Bolonzik. Middles are the option right off the bat.
Love seeing Ofoha just going right at Bolonzik just to start this match off. First option quick, well played by Sullivan and Southern Exposure.
Sullivan, taken by Rosa. Going right back to the middle, and Bolonzik gets his. You know that both of these teams looking to get established early on, and we joked about it at the last event or two. The celebrations and the fierceness that Bolonzik brings to the court after kills and blocks is pretty legendary, so check that out. The guy's got a ton of energy. Raglan with a jump serve, catches some tape. Now Hubbard-Neil on the right side, able to take the one-on-one matchup against Milnaziak there.
Nice to see. So obviously the first 2 points, right, middle attack versus middle attack. Now you throw a quick overhead. Tyler Hubbard-Neil gets a one-on-one block against the smaller Jake Milnaziak and takes advantage of it.
Hubbard-Neil logged a 28-point win last event, won a set by himself. See if he can turn that back on. Now a nice dig by D'Agostino. Rockline chisels high. Raglan gets a touch, and it's going to have to be free-balled over by Bolonzik. Airs it out to give his guys some time. Quick set to the outside, and Rockline attacks the line, gets the hand of Schwady, and that's going to be a point for Southern Exposure.
I think that's a big point that Southern Exposure is going to have to expose, is the blocking of Kyle Schwady.
Yeah.
Kyle's a great offensive hitter. I think if there's any liability, it's going to be on his blocking, and we saw it right there.
Hubbard-Neil jump serve, and that one's going to go long. We're now at 3-2. Chicago Untouchables, and that's going to be Burrell finding the court as Bolonzik is back to serve.
7-footer coming with a little bit of a jump hybrid spin serve. Took a little bit off on that first one.
Back to the middle, D'Agostino. If you don't know, D'Agostino trains with Team USA, still a Florida native. Got a ton of experience on the international stage. He's participated in, I believe, the VNL or some NORCECA events before, wearing that red and blue of Team USA. So
also finished up a professional season over in Slovenia last year.
Nice pass by Raglan, now to the outside. Milnaziak showing that hard angle swing, but it's dug by the off block of Rockline. Backside now, and Schwady hammers down, finds a nice attack into the middle of the court there. Took advantage of a huge one-on-one mismatch.
Yeah, Rockline chased him out to the line, and Schwady took full advantage of the hard cross-court kill. As a lefty,
yep,
the blocker always has to know who's righty, who's lefty, and Schwady's lefty, so that's a big angle you got to take away.
Now Schwady goes with a little bit of an off speed. Out of system, Mercado's going to chisel away. Nice block touch there by Untouchables. Milnaziak attacking the triple block, finds the outside hand of Mercado, and that's what you want to see. That's the kills that Milnaziak does so well. We just saw him last swing go 4-4, sharp angle. Now he's attacking the line on a triple block. His range is exactly what Untouchables is going to have to rely on to get some wins here.
I totally agree with you, Nick. We're going to need to see some contributions from him on the end line as well.
Yep.
But Jake is obviously one of their stronger offensive players.
Sullivan to the middle once again. Rosa tries to get a dig there, but he's almost faster than the ball is there. Gets his hands up a little bit too quick.
So far, Southern Exposure siding out at a really nice percentage. You see a well-rounded offense, a couple of digs by D'Agostino. So well played, 5 serving 4 now.
The middle is very well established also for Exposure. Burrell takes the ball short, and then they go right back to their middle. I love seeing this.
Well played by Thomas Burrell right there. He said, I'll pass and I'll side out. Give me the ball, and he tits that one right off Lurich's face, it looks like.
I was going to say, we always call that the gimme. When you get a pass for yourself, the setter just goes right back. It's such a quick system. It's hard for teams to get ready to stop that attack coming in so quick. About 1.5 feet long there. Milnaziak not quite ready for that one.
We've seen Milnaziak sort of struggle a little bit to start matches. Might take a little while for him to get fully warmed up and invested in the match, but at the same time, he needs to be able to maintain that throughout the entire length of the match.
Absolutely, and Rockline gets a bounce off the tape with his jump serve. Moises goes outside, and an absolute hang and bang there from number 13, Ragland.
Yeah, nice swing down the line, kind of a hang, and like you said, no-look line. Good attack. Not the best blocking move from Exposure setter there, Derek Sullivan, but better hit from Will Ragland.
That one's just long. And to go back, you talk about that blocking move. That's one of those good recognitions from Ragland. He sees out of the corner of his eyes where number 15 Sullivan is. So if that's where the inside most blocker is, he knows that means line's wide open, uses some of that experience, and just goes right down the line. Love to see it.
Nice peripheral vision.
Lurich hammers the jump serve. Back set to the D-ball. Schwady able to squeak that one through.
That ball's got to get picked up. Has to get picked up. That was a nice controlled touch. Sullivan took a false step. Instead of going forwards, he went backwards, and he just couldn't get to it.
Sullivan, a setter out of Belmont Abbey in his collegiate days. Moises Lopez with a float taken by Rockline. Mercado for the D-ball. These teams feel like they are just refusing not to, they're not going to be one-upped. Every time you see one middle kill, the other team goes right back to their middle. Then you see Schwady get the D-ball kill. Exposure goes right back to Mercado. It's just funny to see the little mini games being played on the court right now.
Yeah, you see some nice defense by the Untouchables. Balls just kind of ricocheting off the arms. I'll expect them to get those digs as this match goes on.
Right back into the middle. Bolonzik is dug, but it's going to be too tight to the net, and Hubbard-Neil not able to come up with that one. It's a tough ball coming over his head, but a nice dig by D'Agostino.
So that's a second kind of misfortunate bounce that the ball, that one went in the net. It could have been played out of it. It's just trying to play the right way.
Yep. Sullivan and Mercado on the outside, a tip over the top, and that one's gonna roll right over the top. Moises Lopez not finding it. Ragland has traditionally been a very good server, one of the top ace leaders in the league. Been aggressive this morning so far, had a couple tape bounces. We'll see if he warms up a little bit as well, increases that pressure as a 9-8 lead is established for Exposure, but now tied at 9 as Hubbard-Neil serves to the antenna.
That'll be illegal next season, Nick, as long as it goes back into the court.
Some wally ball.
Oh, wow. Really throwing it back. They still do that?
I don't know, man. But there's a good pass there, and you know what that means. That means it's time for Ofoha in the middle.
First option quick. It's a great way to establish the middle. Both teams have already done that, but you continue to see Southern Exposure ride Ofoha. And he's a big middle hitter, and he's taking full advantage of it.
I want to take a quick moment. This is one of those things where it's very easy as a fan to be bothered by or dismayed by missed serves. But this is a great showcase as to why you really see at high-level men's volleyball everyone feels the pressure to serve aggressively, because if you don't really put power on the serve or find a good location and teams are in system, you're going to see middle attack after middle attack, and that's relatively undefendable at this level of the game. So you have to take that out of system on your serve, and you know, that's going to be something to keep an eye on here. Back into a triple block from Exposure, is able to defend against Milnaziak. Backside to Schwede. Schwede down the line, dug by Dag, and that's just not going to be able to get picked up. And D'Agostino lets Rockline know that's exactly the move we want. I'm going to get that ball next time, worry not.
Yeah, Untouchables take their first lead of this match, up by 1, 11 serving 10. But nice rally on both sides there. Good 3-man blocks, nice attacking in transition, nice digging. So guys are starting to get warmed up here.
Tight pass by Hubbard-Neil, but it's handled well. Backside now to Schwede once again, goes off speed, dug by Sullivan. Dag tracks it down, Rockline over his head, resets nicely. And now Mercado tries to tip over the top of Milnaziak. The steady hands of his experience right there coming in nicely, throws that ball right back down, defending the Untouchables court and gives them a 2-point lead.
Yeah, nice block there by Milnaziak. Mercado not quite getting a lot of heat behind that one. Tried to tip it back, but Milnaziak says not this time.
And this is one of those things we knew both these teams were going to be ready to rally and extend everything. You know, see a lot of points and a lot of touches, but right now Untouchables is looking more disciplined. And now after that serve, they're a free ball in system. Burrell misses that one a little bit with a paintbrush, and now Rockline's going to try to tip again. Raglan doesn't quite find the contact, just a couple misses here on the side of the Untouchables.
Yeah, just a mistimed on that one. Unfortunately, Raglan couldn't find the court on that big attack. It looked like that ball might have been a little bit too far off the net. That's a very complicated set to run, timing-wise, especially in transition.
Yeah, very, very small margin for error. Burrell once again, does that mean going back? Goes to the outside. That's going to be a game ball touch for us. Whew. Tom Burrell, 2 for 2 with great passes.
Those middle blockers, they always want to get in there and pass, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Just a reminder, we're at 16 points. We're going to have our technical timeout, so a bit of a race to 16 for these teams, so they can kind of get in there on, you know, on their terms. Sullivan now goes off the outside hand, gets the touch, and that's going to be a point for Exposure, now down by just 1. And there it is once again. The you know, we're seeing that it wasn't Schwede this time, but we're seeing the left side blocker getting attacked right there from the outside of Southern Exposure. Like you said, that's going to be a hole for them to use.
Well, both of these teams for sure have scouted their opponent. They know what lineups they want. They've got the rotations where they want in the blocker versus hitter matchups.
Yep.
Got to be able to take advantage of those throughout this match.
Burrell goes short. Rockland goes tight, and that's sent over by Sullivan. Ooh, there's going to be a touch. Ooh, no touch. I thought he got him, but not quite able to for Raglan, so that's going to be a point for Southern Exposure with Uchenna Ofoha coming back in.
It's a lucky break for Southern Exposure. That was not an in-system play by them, but Raglan sort of gave it back to him, so we find ourselves down by 1 with Lou Rich now jump serving.
Ooh, uncharacteristic miss. Lou Rich, someone that's got I think he's bringing 7 aces into the match. And close call there. A little bit of discussion if that one's going to be in or out, but no luck for Lou Rich.
You touched on it, Nick. That's, I think, their 3rd service error through this first set so far.
Yep. Ooh, there's another big block. Mercado is struggling right now with the side of the Untouchables. See if he can figure something out. But we have a technical timeout, so we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. There was an ace right there from Moises Lopez attacking that 1-6 seam between D'Agostino and Rockline. That's a huge point to help open up a 4-point lead. Untouchables ready to answer back aggressively. And once again, that's going to be ball over the net with it's just going to be an over called on Sullivan. And Moises Lopez right now, 2 back-to-back aces.
You know, it's important to note that perhaps the Southern Exposure doesn't quite know what to expect from the setter serve game here. A little jump float and another ace.
3 aces in a row. I believe that is an NVA first.
That happened fast.
That's a hat trick right there. Love to see that, and that's going to be a substitution. Eddie Mushikian coming in for Kevin Rockline. Like we said, these guys have a variety of bodies, and the first time this season, it's do or die. You know, a team that's finished in first place may not have felt some of that pressure just yet. Mushikian tracks it down, and that's 4 aces in a row.
That serve was going out of bounds, Nick.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I could see it from here.
that serve was going after that backline camera.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing was launched. But again, Mushikian subbing in. For anyone at home, you want a free tip, free point. Someone gets subbed in off the bench. That means he's already replacing someone who is shaky, and he's cold. Serve that guy
him, absolutely.
every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have liked to have seen Southern Exposure slow play that substitution a little bit. Mushikian is pretty stoked to be going in, and he sprinted right in and ran right to his spot, and then he got aced. It's like, whoa, slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Take your time. Try to ice the server a little bit so we don't have to burn a timeout and give up an ace.
Yep, game management.
Yeah.
I love it, Matt. Great point. And because, I mean, otherwise you've got, you know, your 2 timeouts and substitutions, and that's really the tools in the belt of the coach to try and manage the speed of the game.
I probably would have asked the down referee as well, how many timeouts do I have?
Right.
Have I used any yet? Wait, what about substitution? You know, you got to play the game a little bit too as a coach.
You know, get the 10 seconds here, 5 seconds there, whatever it takes. But we see them take a timeout, and now a 7-point lead. Moises Lopez served all the way from the technical timeout into that, and now Kyle Schwady, someone we were challenging to see if he could answer with the blocking they needed on the right side, and there it is, one-on-one.
Turnaround from the Untouchables. I mean, my gosh, Schwady just dropping that left hand in for a stuff down, and now the Untouchables find themselves up by, I was going to say 8, but now 7 again.
Now 7 again, but I mean, as far as expectations, Moises Lopez coming in, one of our biggest question marks is what are they going to do without Ian Cap? And Moises Lopez has taken the torch and just run with it. Great job. Yeah.
Seamless transition.
And that's what it's all about. At this level of play, it's got to be next man up. If you have injuries, something goes wrong, next man's got to be ready to go. A little bit of a slide action from Milnaziak, dug by D'Agostino. Hubbard-Neil punches that one through. One of those awkward mismatches.
I like that play. We hadn't seen that play before.
No,
so obviously the backslide from the 7-footer, I think that's a great play to use him. But then Milnaziak gets stuck on the right side blocking, which is definitely out of his comfort zone. And Raglan blocking in the middle.
Something that I don't think we would have ever foreseen as a blocking duo. Raglan in the middle with Milnaziak on the right. The only other middle we've seen in the league really run a slide is Brett Massetti with the Ontario Matadors, who will be playing today at 7 p.m. as they take on the Las Vegas Ramblers. We've got 2 back-to-back missed serves there, and honestly, though, right now we've seen the Untouchables have good service pressure. As far as I'm concerned, every guy there should be hitting his best serve with a 6-point lead, and you can afford to make those errors.
Yeah, at this point, when you do have a lead like this, you got to be aggressive and miss long. Don't miss into the net. See what you can produce for your team.
Nice pass by Milnaziak, backside to Schwady, and Schwady hammers that one. Absolutely on fire.
Schwady's got a little fire under his belly all of a sudden now. He must have heard me say that I didn't like his blocking technique, and he gets his stuff down and comes back with that big line bomb right there.
Having a great match so far. And now we see Ramos in as a serving substitution for Milnaziak.
I like that substitution.
I do too. Ofoha tips over the top. Big size mismatch there from the Canadian number 12, Uchenna Ofoha, going over the top of Tom Burrell.
Nice touch. Good to see some finesse from the big man in the middle.
Fun fact, Uchenna Ofoha was a teammate in Spain last season of outside hitter Brandon Rattray from the Las Vegas Ramblers. Some of the NBA guys playing on same teams overseas and different teams back stateside. Ooh, Mushikian, no chicken wing there for him, as that's a kill on the outside from Milnaziak.
Southern Exposure looking like they got a little jet lag still, kind of, jet lag hangover.
Got to figure it out quick. That's this is set point number 1 here for the Untouchables.
Big serve.
Mushikian, nice job starting to warm that arm up off the bench. Gets a nice kill into that double block there. And now Chad Mercado has a bit of a uphill battle in front of him with a 6-point deficit to overcome.
Yeah, it is a bit of a mountain, but we have seen him go on some service runs.
Nice little hybrid there. Pass by Milnaziak, and D-ball is the only option. Dug by Dag. Sullivan bumps that back. Oh, Hubbard-Neil takes that one. Set to outside, and Milnaziak is shut down there. We'd see the steady hands of Sullivan and Lurich put up a great form double block. And that's something we've seen Exposure when they have had good block touches. They aren't quite able to find the defense behind it, or there's just a little bit of missed hand placement on their block. So if they kind of shore that up, the defense behind them is stellar. So yeah, nice adjustment right there from them. A little bit of a misconnection between Lopez and Burrell there.
Right. Cutting into the lead a little bit here, Southern Exposure, creating a little momentum. We've talked about that before, Nick. You might be able to come back and tie it up, but it's really more about cleaning stuff up on your side so you can perhaps take it into set number 2 if they're not able to finish this one off and make the comeback.
Certainly the case, but there's the exclamation point out of the middle from number 18, Tom Burrell, ends this set number 1, putting a number 1 on the scoreboard next to the Chicago Untouchables.
Quite a turnaround there. A couple of those 4 straight aces from Moises Lopez really gave the Untouchables that breather that they needed after that technical timeout, but Southern Exposure is going to have to find a little energy on their side to really kind of see if they can tie this match up at 1 set apiece.
Certainly going to be the case. We're going to go to a quick commercial break between sets 1 and sets 2. We'll be right back, so stay with us.
Flow state, the trailblazer, the closer, the do-it-all hero. All of us were born different. Some of us demand more than we were given. Some of us submerge ourselves in the wake, dive into the trenches, and fight with the ferocity of the rising storm. Some push themselves to attain more than those who came before. And those catalysts deserve and demand a form of fuel that will enable them to do so. Introducing Brain Fuel, a cerebral beverage. Be smarter, think faster, live beyond.
Hey, my name is Travis, and I'm the founder of Arste. Last year, we launched the Medic, which is a state-of-the-art percussive massager. It works by providing rapid, targeted pulses into your muscles, which relieves tension and increases blood flow. It is a great tool for athletes looking to get an edge in their training or in competition, but it's also great for everyday people who suffer from common issues such as stiff neck, lower back pain, and sore feet. What sets our device apart from others? For one, it's how insanely quiet it is. Second is the extended length handle, which allows you to more easily reach your back. And third, the swivel head, which allows for better ergonomics. We also include 6 different head attachments and a travel case with your purchase. We are so excited to have you try the Medic. We know you're gonna love it. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook at any time. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
Hi, I'm Casey Adams, President of Visible Supply Chain Management. E-commerce growth has exploded since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that creates unique shipping challenges for e-commerce companies.
First, we have a strong team of professionals with immense supply chain knowledge. This team builds solutions and strategies to help mitigate any challenges clients are facing. Second, we have fulfillment centers across the country. which gives us the flexibility to adapt and scale rapidly to customers' changing needs. Third, our clients have access to a wide range of shipping options through our network of trusted partners. And finally, our expanded portfolio of service offerings enables us to manage customers' supply chains on a global scale.
There are many solutions and strategies that can help you overcome holiday shipping challenges, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
And we welcome you back for set number 2. Ira Thor here on the sideline with a report from the bench, joined live with head coach Mitch Wiskerson, whose Chicago team pretty much had the best result you possibly could have asked for. Without Ian Cap in the lineup, Moises came in at the setting spot, and talk about the next man up. He absolutely did a fantastic job.
Oh, he did an amazing job. We did everything we wanted to do offensively that we had talked about, and then he had an incredible serving run with 2 or 3 aces in a row that really broke that first set open for us and allowed us to kind of pull away and take control and manage the rest of the set all the way to the 25th.
What's your game plan coming into this match? Obviously on paper, Southern Exposure, great end to the regular season. They would be the favorite, but you guys came out here, motivated team.
I think we match up really well with these guys. I think we did in Atlantic City when we beat them there too. We really just talked about making sure that D'Agostino doesn't touch the ball as much as we can prevent him from doing that, and making them make plays and not having us make mistakes. And then coming up, a couple of runs here and there is going to be the things that we talked about are going to win the match, and it won the first set for us, so we'll see how the rest of it goes.
It absolutely did. Big serving run there. Chicago leads 1-0. Set 2 back to Nick and Matt.
Thanks so much. Awesome to hear a little sideline take. That's a big part of what we're doing here at the NVA, ready to just continue upgrading our broadcast. And that was not the swing Mercado was looking for, but all the same, Chicago with a 2-0 lead here in the second set.
Yeah, not the start that Chad Mercado wanted or Southern Exposure for sure. So they're going to have to figure that out right now.
Mushikian on the bailout and does so through the triple block attacks that look like Milnaziak there. And, we heard it there from Coach Wiskerson. It's all about avoiding D'Agostino. A lot of respect for that experience. We talked about how well-traveled he is as a libero all over the world, and you just cannot let him touch the ball. But right now, Chicago going to the middle. Once again, Milnaziak gets a little bit misconnection on that set, but makes it work for him.
Yeah, it is a good strategy employed by the Untouchables. Keep the ball away from D'Agostino for sure. The guy in the opposite color jersey is usually pretty good at passing, as you saw right there. So don't serve him. But
the one-handed scoop in serve receive, that is right there. Hey, Kyle, if you're watching this back later, just want to say a big thank you for proving our point wonderfully.
Nicely timed.
Yep. Uchenna Ofoha now. Quick pass by Ragland. Unfortunate ball. Other teams for later matches are training on the other side of the gym, which has basically a building between us. But there is one small alleyway, a little bit of a Death Star run that ball just rolls all the way down, finds on the court. So we'll replay here. Quick set to the outside. Milnaziak throws off the top, but that's going to be a nice reset. Exposure, there it is, Mushikian.
Mushikian really cleaning up the garbage on that one. Not the best set from Sullivan right there, but Mushikian a little bit of an undersized outside hitter, and he's able to squeeze that ball down between the block and the net of the Untouchables.
And we've talked about it in the past, I believe, out of King University. There's the high hand swing. Tight ball. Ball's on the plane of the net. Mercado disagreeing. I saw that on the 50-50 at least. But
yeah, I think that was a good play by Milnaziak. Stayed back, waited for the ball to break the plane. Obviously going to win the vertical challenge there against Mercado and take advantage of it.
King College. I said King University. King College, a well-versed outdoor player as well, is Mushikian. Nice pass by D'Agostino and back set. And that one's going over the net.
No touch. No, I didn't see a touch on that one either, Chad. So give another point to the Untouchables as Southern Exposure reeling a little bit right now, Nick.
They certainly are. You know, they've got to answer back pretty quick here, but that's an untimely miss. We were, you know, when you and I were chatting between sets, we were talking about what we liked and what we didn't. Untouchables really not missing a lot of serves, and when they did, I think it was a timely miss. It was something they could afford given their score lead, but not the one they were looking for there. Moises Lopez bump sets up to Schwady, and he hammers through a triple block. Nice dig by Hubbard-Neil. Dag gives Mercado a look, and Mercado is just struggling. You said right there, we're going to expect to see a little bit of a shorter leash. Mercado had a rough game one, and here it is, number 14, Jacob Ciesla coming in to replace number 13, Chad Mercado.
Yeah, it's time to make a change, especially now we're in a single elimination format bracket. If you've got someone on the court that needs to take a breather or isn't quite getting the job done, you got to make a change and see if you can right the ship a little bit, Nick.
Definitely the case, and we'll see if the Northridge alumni is able to get something done. Nice dig, pulled out of the net by Burrell, tipped over the top, and Ciesla takes his first ball touch. A little reset there by Lou Rich. Quick set to the outside, one-on-one, but location does not find its way. A set over that's picked up by D'Agostino, and no one ready to follow that up. Sullivan missing a little bit of the locations he's wanting on some of those sets there, and on the side of Southern Exposure, just having to tip the ball over.
Yeah, Sullivan just off, just a tad off left a little bit. It seems like most of his sets are drifting off the net a little bit. We saw Ciesla come in and make a play defensively to see if he can score some points for him offensively. With Lou Rich and Mushikian in the front row, they've got to have some kind of a back row presence to score some points here, or else they're going to find themselves down by more than just 3.
Schwady hits that lefty jump. Quick set to middle, and Lou Rich, and now Lou Rich getting involved, someone that we put a lot of pressure on to perform this match. He's been one of the bright stars on this first place Southern Exposure lineup, so I want to see him keep getting involved.
Yeah, you know, especially now, kind of, again, single elimination. Lose or go home, you know, win and move on. You got to take care of your guys and make sure that your top performers are getting adequate opportunities, and that's Lou Rich out of the middle for them.
Followed up by a missed serve going long. Well, we all three predicted Southern Exposure taking this one, given what we had seen going on beforehand. I believe when we were talking about it before the match, I believe Ira had said 3-1 as well, the side of Southern Exposure. And, you know, Chicago Untouchables not only proving us wrong, but making a statement here that doesn't matter what lineup they've got, they're ready to come out and play.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a prime example of why I don't gamble, because I said Southern Exposure in 3, which that's off the table. So
you might have gotten the in 3 right if things don't start changing for Exposure here. Ragland with a nice pass. Burrell with a missed connection. We've seen Balanza getting involved, and Burrell is someone that typically finds a lot of starting spot in the rotation because of his offense. But there's a little bit of a misconnection you can tell right now between Lopez and...
Yeah, I think that's just unfamiliarity of playing together on the court at the same time, probably, especially when you have a 7-footer as the other middle. And for Lopez, he's got to be able to find his range as well.
Milnaziak, that's going to go off the ceiling. Ball is still alive, though. Step close from Milnaziak. Hammers that one down. Absolutely finishes that point with an exclamation point. You'd love to see Southern Exposure get a well-formed triple block on that. You got enough time.
That was a great play. Great heads-up play by Milnaziak to dig that ball and then be available after it hits the rafters and then come flying out of the back row for a kill.
We've touched on that off the rafters. We do use FIVB modified rules. Modified is our asterisk because we follow every rule except for ceiling is not a dead ball, just to accommodate for whatever facilities we might be in to make sure that does not end a rally. So if it does hit the ceiling and go over the net, however, that will end the point in favor of the other team. So that's why that ball was still alive, and we might see that throughout the weekend with some of the big swings coming out from these teams.
Yeah, we did see quite a bit of it in the last event. Sometimes you just got to make sure you keep your eye on the ball, Nick. Number one rule in this sport.
Swing goes just long, no touch there. Ofoha not able to make it work. And you know, this is one of those things that I actually like, and it feels kind of clunky, but that set was a little bit forced to Milnaziak, a little bit low, a little bit behind him, but he still managed. He's a good hitter, makes it work. But I like, even in situations that might feel like a little bit of a force, when that's one of your big offensive weapons, keep feeding him, even when it's not necessarily ideal, because that's going to make Exposure respect him as a hitter.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if 7-footer's got a big window, he's got big range, you know. Keep feeding him so he can find that rhythm and find that connection, because if the Untouchables do go on to win this match, they still have 2 more matches to play this weekend, right? And, you know, tomorrow's a new day, and you can continue to work on that connection with your big 7-footer.
Moises Lopez with a missed serve there, but after 4 aces in set number 1, you know, let him hit whatever he was hitting. That's going to be one of those tough misses, but with a 3-point lead, it's one that you can manage. Hubbard-Neil with a great jump serve, but hits JJ Rosa. Bump set goes to Mushikian. Double block, and Ragland with a clean, low press over the net. Not going to give Mushikian any targets to chip down the line at.
Southern Exposure, they're sort of swinging to avoid the block instead of challenging the block and trying to find court, right? In that instance, you've got Will Ragland and Milnaziak blocking. Clearly, Mushikian's trying to attack Ragland, but he goes too far down the line and misses his attack. It's okay if it goes off the block and out of bounds. Challenge the block. Don't swing to avoid it is what my point is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of one of those interesting things also to pay attention to. Regardless of the size of the block itself, whether it's tall or short, sometimes one of those interesting things is when you have such a size disparity between blockers, it can actually create a lot of difficulty to create a well-formed block. So all the more reason, I think, in that given situation, know what's in front of you and keep attacking it.
Absolutely. You're totally right, Nick.
13-10 here. Once again, that race to 16. Get the technical timeout working for you so you can keep figuring out how you're going to finish the game out. 3-point lead with Milnaziak now. Goes a float down to Hubbard-Neil. Lurich getting involved in the back row. Milnaziak not ready to find the defensive move.
I think that's a great play from Southern Exposure. They have to get Lurich involved. We talked about it, right? Especially when he's hitting against the smaller blocker for the Untouchables and Thomas Burrell.
Cecil, I believe, with his first serve here. Finds Ragland, and there's the connection they've been wanting. This is what we were preaching. Even when it's not working on an individual micro instance, if that's the way you want to run your offense, keep finding it. And it speaks to what Moises Lopez wants from his offense right now.
Yeah, and I like to see him go right back to Burrell after Exposure set Lurich, so a little middle-on-middle action. You know, good to see that connection still is standing.
There's the attacking the block from Mushikian, uses Burrell. This is starting to look a little bit better for Exposure. Their passing is cleaning up. We've seen 4 or 5 good passes in a row. Hubbard-Neil kind of turning it on. So if they're able to start getting that passing system created, their offense is going to start following in suit. So that's right now step number 1. If you're Exposure, get that serve receive dialed in. That's going to be your key back into this match.
Yep. It all starts with a pass.
And then it's followed up by an ace. Mushikian, who's been missing some serves here and there, able to come back and answer with an ace. First one of the match for Exposure. That's the energy they need, now down by just 1.
Yeah, nice serve by Mushikian, and see if he can do it again. His team needs it right now. They're down by 1.
Good ball by Ragland, and that's going to be Milnaziak attacking that angle. It's funny, he couldn't look more different in body size, but in terms of scouting, Milnaziak reminds me a lot of Jake Langlois, that if you give them angle, they're going to hit hard angle all day long. And then when you start to take that away, it's just that hard aggressive line. They really don't use a whole lot of swings besides those. That is the bread and butter.
Sort of the game within the game. Hitting angle, hit angle, hit angle, turn one down the line, keep everybody honest.
And there it is. Lurich got the kill, but I saw that out of the right side. I just couldn't see through my camera where that kill was.
Pretty sure that was just a straight right side attack from Lurich,
yeah,
showing off
so.
his range on the offense.
We saw him play right side for one match last event.
We did?
Yeah, against Utah Stingers. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was there right side. Misconnection there. Schwady on a little bit of a quicker tempo where Moises Lopez has to cover the entire court there.
The ball just has to get over the net.
Yes.
Like, it's a misconnection on the set, but do not standing spike it into the net and just give the other team a free point. You have to be smarter than that. Shovel it over deep. It's okay if it's a free ball, but give your block and defense a chance.
Yep.
Don't just hand them a point.
And now we're tied. Exposure answering back. Ooh, Lurich misses that one long, but able to bring in a little bit of pressure heading into the technical timeout. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Meet Tom. Tom is the shipping manager for an e-commerce company specializing in unique, high-end home furnishings. Because these aren't your typical everyday pieces, Tom's often biting his nails every time a shipment leaves the warehouse. His discerning customers will notice every ding, dent, or scratch, which is why Tom trusts one company, RPM Expedite's dedicated network. RPM specializes in hard-to-handle freight that needs a reliable, damage-free shipping approach. RPM boasts 99.3% damage-free delivery. RPM also makes it easy for Tom to customize his shipments. With pricing options, and for transparency and peace of mind, Tom can access RPM's online portal for booking, tracing, and tracking shipments. And of course, if he ever has questions or needs assistance, Tom can always access RPM's round-the-clock customer service. Call RPM Expedite today for your customized, hard-to-handle shipping solution, or visit us online at www.rpmexpediteusa.com.
And we're back. Thanks for sticking with us. Once again, just want to say we are out here at the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, California. If you're in the area, live audiences are all more than welcome. Swing on by. We'd love to see you here and get a chance to see some live matches. Obviously, as COVID has kind of tapered off here in California, at least in regulation, we're seeing the doors open up. So come on down, see some great volleyball. And if you're at home all over the world watching, check us out on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like, that subscribe. Throw a comment, let us know who your favorite team is. And we're back into the action. Hubbard-Neil snaps that high wrist, tracked down by Schwady into the bench. And Milnaziak tries to send that one over, but not able to do so. We are now tied at 16.
A little bit of a barn burner here. Southern Exposure has figured it out a little bit, keeping it close. Obviously helping the cause by not giving up 4 straight aces as they did in set number 1.
Nice pass by Milnaziak. Quick set to the outside. Ragland with a lefty swings to reset it, but not able to be covered there by Milnaziak.
It's unfortunate bounce there. Milnaziak does a nice job covering, but he just hit it the wrong way and it went farther outside the court.
Exposure bounces. Sullivan with that little bounce off the tape. That looks like it's over by Hubbard-Neil.
It's fully over the net by Tyler Hubbard-Neil. Can't block the setter.
He was full penetration on the net there and blocked that out of the hands of.
Can't block the set, Nick.
And that's going to be a critical point here. Untouchables more than happy to take the freebie. 17-17, but you know. And I would say, you know, Coach Tony Glessner knows his stuff. Not only does he know how to rock a mean set of sideburns, but he's a guy that's coached collegiately. He knows, you know, he's well-versed in the game. And kind of you talked about it earlier, sometimes there's a way to slow the game down when things are kind of teetering back and forth.
Yeah.
And even if you know the right call, sometimes have that discussion, and on a silly mistake, you still just kind of stall it out, make it, you know, go a little bit longer, see if you can manage the game.
Yeah. The coaches, they do impact the pace of play from time to time, and the good ones do know how to do that in favor of their team.
Certainly do, and now here's that substitution in a little bit of a different light than we see sometimes. That's going to be Johnny Gomez coming in as a back row passing option for Hubbard-Neil. Low set tipped over, and this is going to be a free ball coming over from JJ Rosa. Back in system, Ofoha swings and catches a touch on the Untouchables.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah,
we saw a
touch. That got a touch on Moises Lopez's shoulder. Untouchables, no disagreement from anyone except for Balanza, who just didn't see the touch.
Almost got away with one there, but that ball did ricochet off the shoulder of Lopez. So give the point to Southern Exposure, now up by 1. Back-to-back service aces, service errors, not helping the cause.
Especially as a float server, your role is just find your target. Let your jump servers be the ones that are more likely to error. But Ofoha doesn't find it there. I mentioned earlier Gomez back row. There's someone that, great passer, and there you see it live. See slow little chop over the top, picked up by Ragland. Oh, Ramos in back row for Milnaziak. Takes a swing there, but misses his hand. Things are getting a little sloppy here. We're seeing some out-of-system stuff that teams need to really make sure they're taking care of the ball.
Well, there's a fine line between risk versus reward, okay? Yep. And so, we've seen it now twice on the Untouchables. They've made risky plays that didn't result in a reward, right? 2 points to the other team. So, really need to make better choices when they're out of system and see if they're able to stop a ball with their block and defense.
Another long serve there. I think that's 3 in a row for Exposure, and we're tied at 20. One of those things, when this is going on, I like to challenge, the guys around me that if you're the one that can stop the errors first when both teams are kind of compounding those errors, that's where you're going to start to create some momentum, maybe unanswered. So see if one of these teams can kind of just start getting things going their way. And there it is, Tom Burrell alongside Moises Lopez with a massive shutdown block. Getting a nice stop there on Mushiki. And
timing couldn't be any better on that one to give Untouchables the lead back here. Thomas Burrell getting a nice block against Mushikian. See if Schwady can help the cause from the back row.
Gomez with a pass. Mushikian hammers in. JJ Rosa.
You gotta move the chairs, coach. Help your team out, jeez.
Kyle Schwady taking out some of those chairs. Making an effort over there, but not able to come up with it. Tied at 21 all. Mushikian coming back. See if he can hit an aggressive jump serve right here is going to be something that could get some separation cause on the scoreboard for Exposure. Out of system, Untouchables has to answer back.
Oh, lets him off the hook. Tyler Hubbard-Neil with a net violation. Oh, unfortunate for Southern Exposure right there.
And now Milnaziak. It's always one of the things that when I'm sitting on the desk, I can keep track of, but I'm really bad as a player, is seeing the next server. Sometimes you've also got to manage and know that, you've got a certain rotation that you're trying to avoid. And Milnaziak as a server is someone I want to keep off of the back line. Gets a nice out-of-system swing there. Goes cross-court, short to zone 2.
Well, we see Cecil's first hitting attempt there, resulting in a hitting error, unfortunately. So haven't seen the impact that opposite hitter substitution perhaps was hoping to garner for Southern Exposure, but now finding themselves down by 2, and they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, so with that timeout, we will be right back. And we're back as these teams take the court. We are late here in the second set. 23-21, Chicago Untouchables in the lead, also with a set lead of 1-0. Ooh, good timeout. Coach Glessner, all of the guys take a quick look over to him and let him know. Coach's point.
Can't miss that serve out of the timeout, Nick. Especially when you're up by 2 and it's 23-21. You've got to put the ball in play.
Oh, man, if I could two-word recap this story, the story of the second set here, it would be missed serves, I think.
Well, unfortunately for Southern Exposure, that's carried over from set number 1. They missed 4 serves, and now you're missing a serve to give set point to the Untouchables.
Tom Burrell with a float to Hubbard-Neil. Ofoha over the top, and there's a timely point. Exposure now putting themselves in a position that they might be able to push this one into extra innings, but that's going to be on the back of Sullivan.
That ball's got to get dug if I'm the Untouchables team. Got to know that Ofoha's been getting set throughout this match. Schwady, the right back defensive player, needs to get there, dig that ball.
Sullivan, a jump server. I assume he'll stick to it here, but keeping that one live. Balonza getting involved in the middle. One-handed dig by D'Agostino. Hubbard-Neil rips into the triple block, covered in the back row. Cecil now gets the set. Oh! And that's going to be a terminal block of Ragland and Balonzic, shutting that one down. Right. And Untouchables 2-0 set lead.
Ragland with a huge stuff down to seal that win. What a block.
All right, there it is. That's going to be the end of set 2. Chicago Untouchables pulling off a potential huge upset here in the first round of the first match of day number 1. So we'll be right back. Stick with us.
Focus. Good pass. Put it down. No, come on. Closer. Good pass. Put it down.
I'm training for my 6th Olympics. More than ever before, I have to work hard to stay in shape. I run, I lift, I do yoga. That means sore knees, sore back, sore everything. KT Tape helps me push past the pain.
Used by athletes around the world and at home, just like you. KT Tape relieves the pain of aching muscles and joints. Perform at your best. Easy to apply. Use it for many common injuries. KT Tape. Train longer, finish stronger.
KT Tape works for me, it'll work for you.
The flow state. The trailblazer. The closer. The do-it-all hero. All of us were born different. Some of us demand more than we were given. Some of us submerge ourselves in the wake, dive into the trenches, and fight with the ferocity of the rising storm. Some push themselves to attain more than those who came before. And those catalysts deserve and demand a form of fuel that will enable them to do so. Introducing Brain Fuel, a cerebral beverage. Be smarter, think faster, live beyond.
Ira Thor here on the sideline with Southern Exposure head coach Tony Glessner. You guys have your backs against the wall right now. A bit of a surprise, obviously, at this point in the match. How do you bounce back?
We were just focused on getting out there and playing our game and taking control of not making as many errors, serving with more of a purpose to take them out of system as opposed to serving to ace, but really just taking control of the ball on our side of the court and having some fun volleyball.
How do you recapture that magic that you guys had in the last few matches of the season that led you to first place overall?
Yeah, I think we started just playing fun volleyball and going out and playing for each other, and no matter what lineup we had in or where anybody was, we just went and had a good time. And so we're just trying to kind of figure out that momentum and how we can get back on that same page right now.
Last question, 6 blocks for Chicago through the first 2 sets. What do you have to do to counter that?
Yeah, we just talked about how we need to make smarter swings and stop hitting low and trying to make highlight swings, and we need to just get up and take high swings off the hands and use the block a little better instead of making them look like a really good blocking team.
On cue, just what we saw live there is what you're looking for. Right back to you guys.
Thanks so much. Great to hear the sideline takes from both coaches. Good to hear your voice. Also, Ira Thor, our other play-by-play commentator that we will hear throughout the weekend. A great part of our on-air broadcast team. Great dig-in system there by D'Agostino. And Hubbard-Neil now swings out of the back row, dug by Rosa. Ragland with a controlled swing, and Southern Exposure now. Mushikian swings for those high hands. Does not find what he's looking for.
Yeah, Mushikian looking to hit those fingertips off Milnaziak, but just missed. The ball found the sidewall before it found the floor.
But when you're Mushikian's height, right around that 6 foot, swinging at I think he's a 5'11", swinging at a 7-footer. Sometimes you're almost swinging up.
Yeah.
Ooh. Talk about swinging up. Well, Uchenna Ofoha is putting it down. Swings deep into a 1-6 seam. Great kill there.
Ofoha really contributing nicely. He's producing points for his team. I think he's probably hitting pretty near perfect at this point.
Tight set. Mercado not able to corral that ball inside, and Milnaziak able to take care of that one there.
So we did see Mercado get back into this game after he got subbed out in set number 2. He came out, started this third set with a little beach cutty shot from the right side. We'll see if he can contribute again after hopefully finding himself on the sidelines.
Schwady down the line, and Mercado's going to get, that's a tough set off the net. Miscommunication there. That's one of those tough balls that every person will always tell the middle, never reach back. But at the same time, that's then the onus on you. You got to be there to pick it up.
Another one of those balls that have to come back up.
Yep.
No excuse.
Mercado with a little hybrid. We see Burrell once again passing. And there's a touch.
We got a touch
there.
call. Sullivan, no argument from him, so good catch by our.
And there's the Milnaziak special. Hard angle or hard line?
Hard no look line for the second time, I feel like.
Yep. Still down by 1. Exposure answering back.
We've seen this throughout the season where the team gets down by 2 sets to none. They typically start set number 3 on a high note. They come out of the gates pretty fast. When the team that has that 2-set-0 lead kind of tends to let their foot off the gas a little bit. So interesting to see how this plays out.
Rosa gets handcuffed a little bit there. Ragland swinging out a system and does not find the court. This is what Exposure needed to do. They needed to kind of level it out, let Untouchables be the one that's kind of trying to answer back, put the pressure on them. And right now we're seeing Untouchables making a couple mistakes. And Exposure just keep putting those serves in, put up a sound block, find your guy. And they found their guy right there. Number 18, Tom Burrell, gets shut down in the middle. A double block of Lou Rich and Hubbard-Neil.
Well, we talked about that during the timeout there in the sideline interview. Got to get a couple more blocks for their team, and that's definitely going to help the cause.
D-ball from Schwady, a little off speed. Sullivan now goes backside to Mushikian, looks for a big attack. Whoop, 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 whoop. Little Mushikian Ragland dance at the net. 8 to 5.
What happened with that one, but Southern Exposure, their biggest lead of the match so far, I think, with a 3-point lead here. Well, it's early on in set number 3. Still got a long way to go.
Ooh, Hubbard-Neil snaps that one, but does not find the line that he's looking for.
Well, Southern Exposure is just sort of missing that flow offensively that they've had. Other than the middle attackers with Lurich and Ofoha, the outside hitters just haven't had that kind of in-flow motion that we've seen throughout the season from them.
Yeah, they've been an undersized outside hitter core that's been so consistent. That's always been kind of their MO. So that's the goal right now. If you're an outside hitter, start mitigating errors and then find a way to get involved. And there's a way to get involved right there. Hubbard-Neil steps in. They get a triple block up, and that one's rejected at the net. Burrell, I believe, a dig off the head trying to cover his guy there and not able to be picked up.
Yeah, that's the second block of this set for Southern Exposure. So we're seeing that statistic inch closer to double from the match so far.
Good reset, picked up by Schwady. Moises Lopez reverses that. And there's Ragland swinging high seam there between Sullivan and Ofoha. That was a smart swing, goes 60%, kind of finds that, little off speed down the line, just nice hole.
Yeah, nice return there by Ragland. He went back to back, got dug on the first one, but continued to swing away and found the kill on the second one.
Ooh, nice save by D'Agostino. But a free ball, and Chicago's in system.
Wow, he's everywhere.
Bump set, goes tight.
Oh, no.
Hubbard-Neil pushes that one through. You see Hubbard-Neil going up against the 7-footer, and he who pushes second wins the joust.
I usually say the little guy always wins the joust.
Also true.
And Tyler Hubbard-Neil is definitely the little guy against the 7-footer.
To be fair, I think we're all the little guys.
It's all about leverage, Nick. It's all about leverage. Hit it second or just be smaller.
Good hustle by D'Agostino to pull that play together. Moises Lopez out of system now, and it's a free ball coming. Dag takes ball 1, goes to the middle with Ofoha. Nice touch block by Milnaziak. Hubbard-Neil punches it over the top. This one's got to go.
Oh. Well, 4-point lead now. Southern Exposure getting some momentum. They're celebrating some point victories here.
This is what we're used to seeing. They're one of those scrappy teams. I mean, Untouchables has always been a scrappy team, and they've been doing so today. Exposure, that's always kind of been their MO as well. So seeing that start to come to life a little bit here, but Milnaziak doesn't want to let this train get off the tracks too early. Squeezes a point through Hubbard-Neil there.
Yeah, that connection still isn't quite on point between Lopez and Milnaziak, but
scoring points all the same.
Able to get it done.
Ofoha with a little 3 route there. Snaps that back in zone 5, no one home.
So that 4-point lead once again for Southern Exposure. Just got a quick water situation on the floor.
It is quite toasty out here.
It's a little warm in this gym, and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning.
After this matchup, we're going to have the OC Stunners taking on the Texas Tyrants, and that is going to be one of the most impressive matches of the day, I think. Tyrants is one of those teams that almost took first place with the best record in the league, finishing just behind Las Vegas Ramblers because of set count. They had the exact, or not set count, it was a point differential, I believe. They had the same record, match count, and then, no, it did go to set count. It had to go to the 3rd tiebreaker there. So they are certainly a team to be respected.
Yeah, Tyrants a little bit of an underdog. They're not the biggest team out there. And I see Mercado making another hitting error. But yeah, that should be an exciting match as well. Stunners obviously physically imposing and have been playing at a pretty high level since event number 2. But Tyrants very consistent and well coached.
On a 7-game win streak, and they beat the Stunners in event number 1. So they're good momentum coming their way as well. So
very good momentum coming into the finals. Talk about peaking at the right time, Nick.
Yeah. Then again, you're going up against the likes of Joey Jarvis, Corey Chavers, Nick Amato, Nick West. That is not any team you want to say you've got an upper hand on.
Oh, and all of a sudden we're tied at this match, Nick. 12 points apiece, and we have ourselves a game.
Both of these teams struggling to find that consistency you might hope to see, but you know, a little bit of nerves, sometimes that jet lag, and see who can answer back. Milnaziak finds a punch dig in the back row. Mercado is the option again and goes OT on Milnaziak. Raglan yelling through the net to make sure everyone knows he touched that ball. No clean kill, but that was certainly authoritative from Mercado.
Mercado let a little frustration go on that one, I think. He's hasn't been too pleased with his play thus far. And definitely doesn't like to not be on the court during regulation play, but lets everybody know about that kill.
Love the setback there from Sullivan too. Mercado had a great swing. That was, we saw a nice dig in the back row by Milnaziak, but you love that setback right away. Sullivan knows if Mercado got that good of a swing on the first one, go to him again, get him back involved, and gets rewarded. So smart play by number 15.
Serving from Southern Exposure just doesn't allow them to get any kind of comfortable lead, however.
They missed 6 serves in the first and second sets. So I would say that's probably their only form of consistency from the service line right now is the amount of missed serves.
Unfortunately, that is not the kind of consistency you want in this game.
Certainly not. Kyle Schwady, a Northern California resident who joins this team for the tournaments. Misses that serve long.
This is the point of the match where service errors tend to creep in a little bit more. It's getting tense in here, it's hot.
Pressure's on Exposure as well. You know, and the hard thing is when serves are getting missed, it's tough to be the guy that's expected to hit a good serve and put pressure on. Like Milnaziak's one of those guys that's expected for Untouchables to really go after his jump serve. And so he's got to dial it back, control it a little bit more there. Ooh, there's the verticality of Tim Lurich. Not a ton of power there, but he gets up so high. He's able to see the angles and just places that ball.
Doesn't always have to hit the ceiling on the bounce, you know. A kill is a kill as long as the ball finds the floor, and Lurich puts it down and scores a point for his team. Good side out. I'm glad Milnaziak made that serve, but who do you serve it to? D'Agostino, the libero. Like,
yep.
Serve somebody else.
Looked like over once. Oh.
He was, no, he's going to change it. Oh, replay.
Oh, confusion right there was that Moises Lopez was believed to be a back row setter. So what that means is basically he was calling the ball on the plane of the net. Since Moises Lopez is front row, both players are eligible to contact that ball.
Yeah.
And so once he confirmed that Lopez was indeed front row, that garnered the replay.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. Good analysis by you. Heads up, understanding the situation.
It's a coin flip. I'll get one, or I get every other one.
50-50.
Yeah. I'll take it. Exposure with a float, taken by Ragland. Burrell, there's the connection they've been trying to get all game. A little push one, get him outside the double block.
Yeah.
They've seen Hubbard-Neil committing in to set up that double block.
Yeah.
So by going to that
with
push
the front
route,
row setter.
Yep. Get that push set, creates a one-on-one opportunity essentially for Burrell, and unloads on that one. Ooh, Hubbard-Neil initially.
Oh, what? Oh, I didn't.
There was a touch called here, and a touch was initially signaled there, so they both thought they saw it. So
okay.
Good swing by Hubbard-Neil, gets the touch he's looking for. That's going to be a 16-15 one-point lead for Exposure here going into our technical timeout. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, my name is Travis, and I'm the founder of Arste. Last year, we launched the Medic, which is a state-of-the-art percussive massager. It works by providing rapid, targeted pulses into your muscles, which relieves tension and increases blood flow. It is a great tool for athletes looking to get an edge in their training or in competition, but it's also great for everyday people who suffer from common issues such as stiff neck, lower back pain, and sore feet. What sets our device apart from others? For one, it's how insanely quiet it is. Second is the extended length handle, which allows you to more easily reach your back. And third, the swivel head, which allows for better ergonomics. We also include 6 different head attachments and a travel case with your purchase. We are so excited to have you try the Medic. We know you're gonna love it. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook at any time. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
And we are back, and we're looking at the stats right now, and it's a very telling quick checkout here. When you look at points scored, we're saying Milnaziak, Shwady, and Paul Balanzik all very positive in the points scored column, so Exposure does not quite have the same presence there. We're going to have to see them answer back if they want to send this one into a 4th set. And here's a great opportunity. Free ball coming in, taken by Mercado. Foha swings, and there's a commit block. Balanzik absolutely in there. And that's one of those things, Matt, you can speak to it better than I can, but one of those, as a taller middle, very frequently you'll see kind of almost like more tap blocks to make sure you can get to the outsides. But that was a full commit 7-footer in the air.
Great awareness by Balanzik right there. Front row setter, he went full commit and was able to just stuff down Ofoha and let everybody in this gym know about it too. Wow. Goodness. One of the most authoritative blocks we've seen all season from Balanzik.
Certainly is. It also speaks to the physical prowess of Ofoha, the fact that he's meeting, Balanzik at the top right there. That's 2 big boys.
Yep, absolutely.
Now they go to Mercado, and Mercado, there's the answer we were looking for. Off the bench, got a little vacation, down at the end there.
Yeah, we talked about it between games. Once we saw that he was back in, what to expect from him. And he's definitely a bit of a different player in this game than he was in the first one.
Love to see it. And now he's going to be back front row as Sullivan takes a jump serve there. Shwady with an aggressive swing there, but not able to find any hands as he goes cross court. That's one of those interesting parts of being in that rotation for the Untouchables. You've got a lefty oppo on the outside, so kind of a tough connection.
Rotation 1.
Yep.
Setter's right back. Opposite hitter is left front. Traditionally not one of the most strongest rotations for any team. As we see the Untouchables calling a timeout.
Down by 2, so we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back as a pretty close finish heading in potentially here. Set number 3, we'll be right back. And we're back here at Southern Exposure on a 2-point lead, seeing if they're able to increase that with one more with Sullivan on the serving line. Team's starting to clean things up. We're seeing Mercado come to life here, but it's funny, as he's started to come alive a little bit more, we're seeing their middles cool off. So see if they can get them both cycling at the same time.
Well, Southern Exposure facing elimination, right? Down 0-2.
Nice dig by D'Agostino. Mercado in transition off the shoulder of Lopez. Couldn't pick a better time for Mercado to start turning that on. The heat is cooking right now on the right side for number 13. Love to see it.
We did talk about it again. Not the best start for Mercado. Probably a little jet lagged, but maybe someone got in his ear and said, look, man, you got to step it up or else we're going home on the next flight.
But that's one of those things. Derek Sullivan knows his guys. He can see who's hot, and he's going to ride that pony. So right now in serve receive, they get a good pass. It's pretty much guaranteed middle right side, depending on how on the net that is.
Mercado has produced well for Southern Exposure throughout the entire season, so not surprised to see it.
There's Ofoha. Love to see that from Sullivan. 8 feet off the net, just throws that in there. He's got a huge hitter in Ofoha. Big window, threads that one in, and Ofoha finding a great point there into the corner.
Yeah, defensively speaking for the Untouchables, they got to find some digs here. Balls are kind of bouncing off their arms, but they got to get some digs up in the air so they can turn it in transition.
Backside to Schwede, and Schwede hammers that one off of the block of Mushikian.
Nice swing by Schwede.
And now we're going to see that Johnny Gomez back row 3-pass rotation where he's going to replace Hubbard-Neil just to see if they can, get 2 liberos in your serve receive. And again, just a reminder, that means that Gomez can come in one time for this, and once they undo that substitution, he is not allowed back on. So that's why you'll see a lot of teams wait until later on in the game to make these substitutions, so they make sure they don't burn any options early on. So now we'll see Gomez get a chance to receive.
Foha with a ill-timed hitting error right there, Nick.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. Ramos now is a substitution, and there it is. We've seen Ramos being used as a serving sub, just like I talked about, as Gomez is a passing sub, replacing Milnaziak. Ramos with an ace right there, and the Untouchables have had some trouble generating momentum on their serving ever since that first run in the first set. So Ramos playing a little bit of a game all by himself there for 2 points.
And now we're going to see another serving substitution for Southern Exposure.
Lev Gershfeld coming in, number 7 for Ofoha. He will be hitting a jump serve, an outside hitter by trade. I would expect to see him play middle back and putting Johnny Gomez, the libero, in left back. So a little bit of a positional swap would be my expectation. Lopez goes to Schwede, and Schwede is shut down. Tim Lurich trailing that right hand as he comes across the court.
Lurich with a well-timed and well-formed block, taking away the angle. Southern Exposure builds that 2-point lead again.
Gershfeld looking for one more if he can. There it is. Milnaziak's the option, but goes off the outside hand of Mercado there.
Look, Nick, this is do or die right now for Southern Exposure. They have to side this out. Look for a set either to Lurich or overhead to Mercado if I was a gambling man. But right now, down by 1, you've got Kyle Schwede serving. Untouchables need to put the ball in play. Serve the guys in black. Do not serve the libero.
Yeah, D'Agostino is not the target. There's the middle. Lurich getting involved, and it's funny, we said, it's kind of an unfair thing. This is what Southern Exposure does so well. You say avoid D'Agostino, but then you got Johnny Gomez, arguably one of the other top 5 liberos in the league, but he's behind D'Agostino, so you can't have them both playing. So it really minimizes any good serving target. Well handled there, and now just 2 points away from snagging set number 3. Exposure needs to answer back. Good float. Ragland battles with it, and now we're seeing Milnaziak once again. That outside hand is his bread and butter.
Yeah, really just taking full advantage of the right side blocker, the right hand of the right side blocker, like you just said, Nick. Down the line, nice attacking by Milnaziak.
That always gets me. Milnaziak and Milnaziak in the same front rows. Sometimes it gets to be a tongue twister. Perfect pass by Gomez. And now Mushikian battles with it. Rosa with a dig. Schwede with a back step. Mushikian hard again, dug by Rosa. Who's the transition option? Ragland. Dug by D'Agostino. Mercado with a little bit off, has to manage, rolls over the top. Schwede once again, dug by Gomez. Lurich over the top kept alive by Burrell. Exposure gets another opportunity. Tipped again, and nobody home. Rosa less than pleased, to be polite about his reaction to that tip going down. There was a lot of misconnections between setters and hitters there, but something we were critical of earlier. When the set's not there, you can't make the mistake. So at the very least, we're seeing players managing swings. They see where they're at, keep it alive, and do their best to challenge the other team's defense. That right there is got some great input coming in from my ear there from Ira Thor, recognizing not seeing that right there in the match could be a turning point, because if Exposure is able to turn this on, steal the set, and send us into set number 4, that really could be a big one here.
Yeah, that's one of those points that the Untouchables are going to look back and be like, we should have had that ball up. That's an unexcusable error, right? It was a longer rally. And, you know, they did do a good job of managing those not perfect sets to keep the ball in play, but a tip like that ball, at this point of this match, at this point of the season, that ball's got to come up.
Yep. And it's almost one of those things, the longer the rally goes on, you start to develop a little bit of expectation, who's taking what. You saw 3 digs in a row there from Rosa. There might have been some miscommunication or expectation. That ball's either going to be dug by your libero or your off blocker and Will Ragland. So it's a tough one. I don't have a right answer from here, but all I know is it's got to go up. And now we're at set point in the 3rd set here for Southern Exposure, looking to keep their season alive. Burrell set low, and that's going to be a tip over. D'Agostino jumping over the 10. A little bit of a tight set, but managed by Neil. Ragland clutches up and swings down the line. Right now, the Chicago Untouchables have that line shot down to a T.
Yeah, great swing by Will Ragland right there. Not the best connection out of the middle, but you know, Burrell goes back to serve now, and you see Sullivan and Lou Rich talking about what play they want to run. Look for Southern Exposure to set quick, I think, right here, Nick.
Yep. Absolutely the case.
Not on that pass.
Off speed, recognizing you have a back row middle. There's no libero on the court, and Tom Burrell getting picked on right there by Mercado. And that's going to be a match stolen away here in the 3rd. Southern Exposure getting the job done.
Wow.
We are going to see at least a 4th set, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Grab some water, grab some coffee, depends on where you are. And if you're at lunch at the office, you know, worry not. We got a great Friday match going underway. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Casey Adams, President of Visible Supply Chain Management. E-commerce growth has exploded since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that creates unique shipping challenges for e-commerce companies.
First, we have a strong team of professionals with immense supply chain knowledge. This team builds solutions and strategies to help mitigate any challenges clients are facing. Second, we have fulfillment centers across the country, which gives us the flexibility to adapt and scale rapidly to customers' changing needs. Third, our clients have access to a wide range of shipping options through our network of trusted partners. And finally, our expanded portfolio of service offerings enables us to manage customers' supply chains on a global scale.
There are many solutions and strategies that can help you overcome holiday shipping challenges, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
Meet Tom. Tom is the shipping manager for an e-commerce company specializing in unique, high-end home furnishing. Because these aren't your typical everyday pieces, Tom's often biting his nails every time a shipment leaves the warehouse. His discerning customers will notice every ding, dent, or scratch, which is why Tom trusts one company, RPM Expedite's dedicated network. RPM specializes in hard-to-handle freight that needs a reliable, damage-free shipping approach. RPM boasts 99.3% damage-free delivery. RPM also makes it easy for Tom to customize his shipments. With pricing options, and for transparency and peace of mind, Tom can access RPM's online portal for booking, tracing, and tracking shipments. And of course, if he ever has questions or needs assistance, Tom can always access RPM's round-the-clock customer service. Call RPM Expedite today for your customized, hard-to-handle shipping solution, or visit us online at www.rpmexpediteusa.com.
Focus. Good pass. Put it down. No, come on. Closer. Good pass, put it down.
I'm training for my 6th Olympics. More than ever before, I have to work hard to stay in shape. I run, I lift, I do yoga. That means sore knees, sore back, sore everything. KT Tape helps me push past the pain.
Used by athletes around the world and at home, just like you. KT Tape relieves the pain of aching muscles and joints. Perform at your best. Easy to apply. Use it for many common injuries. KT Tape. Train longer, finish stronger.
KT Tape works for me, it'll work for you.
And we are back here with set number 4 as Southern Exposure is able to find their footing there in the 3rd set and steal one away from Chicago Untouchables that up until that point looked like they were going to be kind of an unstoppable machine, pulling off a huge upset with a reverse 3-0 sweep that we were, I don't think any of us predicting here coming into this one.
Nope, you're right. They're able to extend their season, staying alive, and forcing a set 4 now. So curious to see how they carry that game win over into this one. As the Untouchables kind of let that one slip away from them, missing some key digging opportunities there late in that 3rd set that Southern Exposure was able to capitalize on. So
my quick takeaway, not to step on your toes there, sorry.
Sure.
If I said 2 things I want to see both teams do in set 4 here to find their success, Southern Exposure, I want to see Mercado keep going. We saw him have a pretty solid match off the bench, almost like warming up. If he can kind of continue that same momentum here in the 4th, that's going to be a great look. Also, for the outsides, just continue to be consistent in your passing and swinging. On the side of the Untouchables, reconnect with your middles. We saw Milnaziak and Burrell early on in sets 1 and 2 really scoring points effectively, cooled off a little bit there in the 3rd, so get them reactivated. Also, return to the service pressure. They were able to find some I don't know if they were well-earned necessarily, but certainly well-timed. The Moises Lopez float serve aces, but see if Milnaziak can get on his pony a little bit and find some good pressure. However, talk about serving. 2 missed serves has us now in a race to 24.
It's a wash when two teams miss their first serves in the set.
Hubbard-Neil jump serves. There it is, but Southern Exposure dialed in. We've been challenging them to get more block touches, slow down the offense of the Untouchables. Mercado making a great read, steps in to help out the middle Ofoha, shuts that one down from Milnaziak.
Yeah, since we touched on that, Southern Exposure has definitely increased their blocking capabilities.
And there it is, though. You see that confidence. Moises Lopez does not want Milnaziak slowed down for even a second. Repeat set goes back right away, gets the kill for the big man in the middle.
Oh.
A little bit of a low toss there from Ragland. And we're seeing, oh, I was curious. I was going to say that's an early serving substitution. Lev Gershfeld started to approach the line, and like I said, I'm sure we'll see that serve sub later on, but you don't want to burn through options early on in the match. You want to make sure you have some chances. So
yeah, not quite yet. A little early for serving substitutions.
Reset there by Milnaziak, and now he takes a big swing. Good point for the Untouchables, and I've been saying it a lot. I talk about the term reset. And now what I mean by that is when you have a big block up there, sometimes the set might be a perfect set. Maybe it's not the set you're looking for, but sometimes it's just not smart to take a big swing. So sometimes if you take a 30% roll shot, high into the block, tip, you'll see sometimes guys do a 2-handed set. And you want a ball that comes back to your side that your team can cover you and allow you to get another swing. We saw Milnaziak, an experienced outdoor player, where that's a very critical tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of sometimes they call it recycling it, right?
Yep.
It's not a great set. There's a good, well-formed block in front of you. You kind of take a little bit off of your swing and you expect the ball to get blocked, but it comes back so your team can cover you.
Yep. Something to always keep an eye out. A great high IQ volleyball move. And a little bit low there for Burrell once again. It's funny, Burrell, we'll try that one more time.
Speaking of recycling.
Yeah, recycle that. Burrell, substantially shorter than Milnaziak. You almost set him similarly. He just gets so up there that you've really got to be able to get that set higher. There's the recycle once again. And now an opportunity for Schwady, and he takes advantage, but D'Agostino with a huge dig. You've got to turn, get off the net, and find that ball quickly. Lurich doesn't quite spot it fast enough there.
Yeah, nice dig by D'Agostino. Unfortunately, just doesn't get picked up by his teammates.
Done a great job thus far, anchoring the boys in black and pink throughout this match.
The Untouchables have got to find their service game right now. They are being way too conservative from the end line. I mean, their tosses are too low, their contacts are not right, but so far they've missed way too many serves in the last game and a half.
It's one of those tough parts of missing Cap, you know. So one of the top ace leaders in the league. Both teams bailing each other out, though, with the missed serves. Just points that are not even getting played. I would say right now that might be one of the biggest X factors, that whichever team can start managing that early, cut those service errors in half, they're going to maybe find a way to separate and pull themselves apart.
Lurich continuing to produce points for his team out of the middle. Like to see Sullivan recognizing that as well and continuing to feed him.
Quick wipe up after a defensive move from the Untouchables. Lurich a jump server now. Got to hit zone 1 or 5, keep it away from Rosa. Not able to find it there all the same.
The service error bug has made its presence felt, Nick.
Certainly has. D'Agostino now with the bump set to the outside. Hubbard-Neil out of system. Gets a high hand touch, but Untouchables ready to take advantage of that. Free ball now for Exposure. D-ball from Mercado, dug by Schwady. Schwady returns and it's dug by Mercado, but not able to come back. The battle of the right sides. Got a little bit of a lake now on the court that's gonna get cleaned up. Going this far into the match, set number 4. These guys are pretty sweaty in a hot gym here, so a lot of this is going to be going on, I think, slowing the match down a little bit. So teams might be using that to kind of control the tempo as well, as we're tied at 7s.
Well, it's nice to see Schwady come out of the back row for a quick kill in transition. However, the Lake Mercado over there.
It's actually a pretty great name. You could convince me.
Trying to ice Burrell a little bit here as we're set to get back to action now.
Burrell float down the line. Oh, Foha. There's 2 blockers there between Ragland and Bolonzik, and he just goes over Ragland, I think, and finds that tee.
Nice vision by Foha to go hard wrist away over the smaller blocker and in. Made sure he let Ragland know that the ball was in fact in as well.
Ragland loves to just chat with everyone, just, you know, get guys off their mental game. I don't know if you can see that one. Ball just getting caught nicely in our camera equipment. Wedged perfectly.
Here comes Lopez now, tied at 8, Nick. Set number 4. Morning action here, quarterfinal number 1.
Sullivan backside. Ooh, there's a nice approach, Hubbard-Neil.
Tyler Hubbard-Neil, feel like he's still been a little bit of asleep, you know, throughout this match. Offensively, we haven't said his name a lot. He's been on the court, but hasn't made a huge impact numbers-wise. He's contributing, but they're going to need more from him if they want to force a 5th set.
There's a great serve, though. Back one to Bolonzik. Man, both of these liberos right now are just playing phenomenal. Rosa, that was a great serve from Hubbard-Neil, but Rosa ready for that one on top of it early.
Well, I want to give credit to Lopez and Bolonzik for spreading out the Bolonzik offense. It's always, all season long, we've seen front 1, push 1. He's gone back slides. That was a little step out back 1 too. So nice to see that connection continuing to develop.
Great call by you, and that's a great swing down the line by Kyle Schwady. Number 11 gets it done. Once again, you know your mismatch. You've got a shorter blocker back there with Eddie Mushikian, and while he's a very disciplined blocker, that's a great recognition of the current status of the game by Lopez. Raglan long.
Untouchable coaching staff getting a little frustrated with their service attempts and accumulating service errors, Nick.
Rosso the target once again. Schwady, that's a tight ball, not a lot of options. He's just got to go after it, hoping find a hand, but Mushikian not going to chase him out to the line at all. That ball goes just wide, and Ofohua back for serve number 2.
That's one of those plays that Schwedy should want back. Unfortunately, swinging to avoid the block on that one.
Now Milnaziak's turn. There's that high hand angle. You see Southern Exposure, whenever they've got a middle serving there, both teams are tending to put their middles in middle back and let the outsides play left back. Did not get a dig for them there. Low set, Lou Rich keeps it alive. Nice block touch by Burrell. Now Mercado goes down the line. Once again, we're seeing that middle back, middle option getting exploited.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm buying into that technique or philosophy or what, but credit over to Lou Rich for the self-cover after Burrell was able to block that ball back and give his team another chance for a kill.
1 point lead here for Exposure. Still, you know, it's pretty impressive to see that they're up 1 with the way that serving has gone thus far. So if they're able to just kind of keep the ball alive and let their guys rally. Good float there. Burrell with a little over the top of the head misconnection. Good swing from Mushiki and dug by Rosa. Raglan with the big, and it's kept alive. Rosa covers, Burrell with a set, and now Milnaziak attacking, dug by Dag. Now a back row from Hubbard-Neil, and that's going to be the kill in a match that has not seen much back row attacking out of the pipe option at all. Both teams getting involved. Raglan hammered that ball and just barely kept alive from Exposure.
Yeah.
But you're rewarded for serving in the court. A team that is so good at rallying and extending the point. We see it there. Good work by Exposure. Whew, friendly bounce just wide. Milnaziak puts his hand on his chest. That one certainly scared him. He thought that was potentially about to hit that line.
Well, Milnaziak stepped the wrong way, and Mercado was challenging his line. Unfortunately for Mercado, that ball goes off the tape and out of bounds.
Tight pass. Sullivan sends that one over. Now Raglan with the back set, and Milnaziak's covered by Burrell. Deep ball from Schwady, one option. Back row attack. Schwady was in front of the 10-foot line or the 3-meter line. That's the white line you can see there on the court. As a back row hitter, you cannot cross that. So that infraction is going to earn a point for the Southern Exposure, who is now up by 2 with Mushikian back to serve.
Untouchables need to find themselves a little bit. They're kind of playing sloppy. They started out great this match, and since about halfway through set number 3, they just haven't been the same team.
I think they heard you there. Looking for a touch, but not going to find it. I think we're also seeing the Untouchables, or the Southern Exposure block, something that has been almost one of their most iconic and greatest boons to their team identity. It's starting to come back online. They're finding some good touches, and it's putting a little bit more pressure on the Untouchables offense. Mercado with a nice handcuff dig. Sent over, taking Schwady out of the offense. Back to Raglan. Touch off the block. Sullivan goes to Hubbard-Neil, and he gets the use. Once again, the offense, or the defensive block touch there from Lou Rich extends the rally, gives them a chance to see another point. And that's going to be a 4-point lead, 16-12, going into our technical timeout. We'll be right back.
The flow state. The trailblazer. The closer. The do-it-all hero. All of us were born different. Some of us demand more than we were given. Some of us submerge ourselves in the wake, dive into the trenches, and fight with the ferocity of the rising storm. Some push themselves to attain more than those who came before. And those catalysts deserve and demand a form of fuel that will enable them to do so. Introducing Brain Fuel, a cerebral beverage. Be smarter, think faster, live beyond.
And that was a quick break at 16:12, our technical timeout. We are coming back to you in set number 4. I am Nick England, joined by Matt Prosser. We got Ira Thor on the sideline. We're bringing you a lot of high-quality volleyball here from San Bernardino, California at the Pierce Sports Center, our 4th and final event of the 2021 NVA season. Do not miss out. A lot of great matches coming to you every 3 hours today. So back into it, Mashikian on a float serve. Burrell gets a hold. That ball was a foot behind his head, but he is so...
Burrell's got range. He's got a lot of range. He can make up for it. He jumps well, kept his shoulders open and off the net and was able to score the point.
Well done by him, and you love to see Chicago returning to that, which has brought them so much success. Run your middles. Burrell and Balanzik, the double B in the middle, having the answer. Tight pass. Ooh, miscommunication. Ragland kind of tries to place a ball, but Sullivan heads up, gets over the net with a quick little 180 stuff block.
Sneaky block by Derek Sullivan, the front row setter for Southern Exposure, keeping his team with that 4-point lead, trying to force a 5th set. Nick.
Love to see it. Oh, the crawl over the tape. Tim Lurich paid the man this morning, and the net lets that one go. Tough break for Untouchables, now down by 5. We always talk about when you get to this 5-point lead, something's got to change. And there's the timeout to discuss exactly what needs to change. We just had a quick timeout. We're going right back into another one while Untouchables does some problem solving. We'll be right back. Quick discussion from the side of the Chicago Untouchables, just trying to find out what's going to be the answer here. Matt, what do you see and what's going to need to change, what's working well for the guys in blue?
Well, that's a great question, Nick. First of all, they got to start with the pass. Exposure's block has really stepped up, and we're seeing it now, controlling Ragland's swing and a Foha with a little touch, but Untouchables are just scrambling.
And back into system. That's a nice dig, though, by Milnaziak. Backside to Shuady, see if he can hammer this one home. But the Untouchables block, or the Exposure block, once again, tough move. Sullivan going over his head. Tight ball to the net. Not able to get a touch that is playable for Mercado. And, you know, that's a great earned point from Untouchables. But that's a point that I expected to see a lot more of. The offensive spread of the Untouchables going after the defensive prowess and the blocking prowess of the Exposure. So I think if both teams are playing more like that, we're going to see a pretty healthy finish to this match. Tip over the top, picked up by Sullivan, punched over by Mercado. Ragland off balance, swings, picked up by D'Agostino.
Oh, Burrell with a nice dig.
Yeah, love to see the middle. Now Ragland hammers that one, doesn't find the touch, nobody home. You wanted to see the switch of the middles going into left back, and there it is. Untouchables having Burrell back there. Gets a great little lip for himself. Pops it up, but no kill in transition. And this is where the block of Exposure has been so important. We keep talking about it, but it's so important to their team identity. They are slowing down Untouchables, forcing some more aggressive swings, and now we're seeing Untouchables make some errors in their offensive transition.
Yeah, Southern Exposure forcing the rallies to extend. They're digging the ball. They're transitioning nicely, making Untouchables hit multiple times.
Tight ball, it's gonna be jammed down, and free ball for Exposure. Go to Hubbard-Neil one-on-one and take a huge advantage. That's where having Uchenna Ofoha in your front row offense is so important. He pulls Paul Balanza, giving a one-on-one to Lopez there. And now a substitution, Coach Mitch Wiskershin entering the court. Number 12 looking for a little bit of a different look and see if he can get something going, as Untouchables are now down by 6.
The rare coach-player substitution, calls his own number, puts himself in here, try to change it up.
Set to the outside, Ragland not ready for that one. Hubbard-Neil off balance. Miscommunication there. That one's got to come up. There's plenty of time to read that, and I think that speaks to a little bit of the mindset right now for Untouchables.
Right now, the Untouchables are a little lost, it looks like. They're not sure which way's up, and Southern Exposure can't do anything wrong either. So,
ooh, just long. I was going to note that Sullivan went to his float serve there, and you've kind of seen it across the board. They've taken 15, 20% off. Everyone's dialing it back, see if they can just minimize service errors, and that's what we were talking about early on. Maybe make your serves a little bit easier to give you a chance to rally it out. But 2 untimely errors back-to-back. See if Chicago Untouchables are able to rely on that a little bit as they're down by 5.
Still down by 5. Long way to go here. Wouldn't count them out entirely, but definitely an uphill battle.
Backside, Hubbard-Neil in this rotation 1 has been a great answer all match long. That's his 3rd kill from the right side. Doing a nice job making sure that Exposure does not get stuck in that rotation 1. You talked about it earlier. It can be very problematic for teams. Straight up is the only option. Ragland chops that into Sullivan's platform. Mercado down the line. Rosa unable to handle the heat. Mercado has had a stellar turnaround.
He really has. We've talked about it a couple of times now, but the Mercado in games 3 and 4 is day and night different than the Mercado from game number 1.
Yeah, and it's those small switches. As much as Exposure looked a little lost, it was hard because that's every guy changing their game 15, 20, percent, dial that up, find your connection.
Yeah.
But they're doing it across the board. We've seen the outside start to minimize their errors. We've seen some offensive prowess step up on the side of Mercado, and the middles and D'Agostino have been a steady influence on the match. So love to see that from them and see if they can send us here into set 5.
Well, yeah, it looks like as we're inching towards the end of set number 4 that we are certainly going to be going the distance, Nick.
Yeah.
5-setter to start.
If you've been watching all season long, no surprise to anyone. We love going to set number 5. Was it event number 3? I think we had more set 5s than non-set 5s. Every team battling it out. Wiskershin airs that out. Mercado resets. And Sullivan goes to the quick middle. Laid out and covered by Hubbard-Neil in the back row. Now Mushikian chiseling it in, but dug by Rosa. Schwady now with a big block, or a big swing, dug by Dag. Setter out on the side of Untouchables, and Schwady goes for the off-speed roll. Picked up, chaos ball, and Untouchables are able to come up with a positive point there. Nice rally.
Yeah, well played by both sides there. Good scramble plays from Southern Exposure. Just kind of ran out of luck on that one, and the Untouchables scored a much-needed point to kind of win one of those longer rallies that it seems that Southern Exposure has been doing all day so far.
Yep. Gomez now in the serve-receive line for Hubbard-Neil. That same switch we are seeing, and now quick set to the outside. Mushikian misses the hands. That one was well over the top.
Yeah, not even close.
Yep. Took a little bit of a weird contact, so it kind of floated a little bit out of Eddie's hands, but we had a good view on that one, a couple inches over the top of the block.
Set point, Nick.
Hey, we always preach about how we do our very best to deliver a lot of volleyball to you here at the NBA, and day 1, match 1, no exception. In case you haven't heard, after this, we're going to see the match between the Texas Tyrants and the OC Stunners. The winner of this match will play the winner of that match tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Some afternoon matches in the semifinals tomorrow. Back set by Mitch facing the net. Nice little adjustment there, but Schwady not getting the swing he wants. No hand dig able to come up for Mitch Wiskershin, and that's going to be set number 4 going the way of Southern Exposure. Reverse sweep on the way. We'll find out. We'll find out with set number 5 right after this break. Stay tuned.
Hey, my name is Travis, and I'm the founder of Arste. Last year, we launched the Medic, which is a state-of-the-art percussive massager. It works by providing rapid, targeted pulses into your muscles, which relieves tension and increases blood flow. It is a great tool for athletes looking to get an edge in their training or in competition, but it's also great for everyday people who suffer from common issues such as stiff neck, lower back pain, and sore feet. What sets our device apart from others? For one, it's how insanely quiet it is. Second is the extended length handle, which allows you to more easily reach your back. And third, the swivel head, which allows for better ergonomics. We also include 6 different head attachments and a travel case with your purchase. We are so excited to have you try the Medic. We know you're gonna love it. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook at any time. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.
Hi, I'm Casey Adams, President of Visible Supply Chain Management. E-commerce growth has exploded since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that creates unique shipping challenges for e-commerce companies.
First, we have a strong team of professionals with immense supply chain knowledge. This team builds solutions and strategies to help mitigate any challenges clients are facing. Second, we have fulfillment centers across the country, which gives us the flexibility to adapt and scale rapidly to customers' changing needs. Third, our clients have access to a wide range of shipping options through our network of trusted partners. And finally, our expanded portfolio of service offerings enables us to manage customers' supply chains on a global scale.
There are many solutions and strategies that can help you overcome holiday shipping challenges, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
Meet Tom. Tom is the shipping manager for an e-commerce company specializing in unique, high-end home furnishing. Because these aren't your typical everyday pieces, Tom's often biting his nails every time a shipment leaves the warehouse. His discerning customers will notice every ding, dent, or scratch, which is why Tom trusts one company, RPM Expedite's dedicated network. RPM specializes in hard-to-handle freight that needs a reliable, damage-free shipping approach. RPM boasts 99.3% damage-free delivery. RPM also makes it easy for Tom to customize his shipments. With pricing options, and for transparency and peace of mind, Tom can access RPM's online portal for booking, tracing, and tracking shipments. And of course, if he ever has questions or needs assistance, Tom can always access RPM's round-the-clock customer service. Call RPM Expedite today for your customized, hard-to-handle shipping solution, or visit us online at www.rpmexpediteusa.com.
Focus. Good pass. Put it down. No, come on. Closer. Good pass. Put it down.
I'm training for my 6th Olympics. More than ever before, I have to work hard to stay in shape. I run, I lift, I do yoga. That means sore knees, sore back, sore everything. KT Tape helps me push past the pain.
Used by athletes around the world and at home, just like you. KT Tape relieves the pain of aching muscles and joints. Perform at your best. Easy to apply. Use it for many common injuries. KT Tape. Train longer. Finish stronger.
KT Tape works for me. It'll work for you.
And we are back as match number 1 of day number 1 is going to go the distance. This is going to be a game to 15, so do or die. Milnaziak with the first serve. Sullivan goes to the outside. Hubbard-Neil blocked back, and there is a return to form as you see coach, player, man who does it all, Mitch Wiskershyn returning to the court the same way they finished. Burrell getting up next to him. That's a great block to start off set number 5.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise picking Milnaziak as your first server, but that pays off. Is a nice block for the Untouchables. Here comes Southern Exposure out of the middle as they've been doing. Ofoha gets his kill.
Yeah, and one of those interesting things that in games to 15, when you think about what you can kind of expect, it's usually one full rotation from your team and then maybe another half. So maybe they're looking for Burrell as a matchup somewhere, get him more involved offensively. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. They look for him there, but a nice stop by Ofoha. D-ball, nobody up. You can see Ofoha and Hubbard-Neil having a discussion. They saw the set, where it was going. They both called no block.
Smart move by them.
Yep. It's really important you're on the same page so you don't have just one blocker all by themselves. Great pass from Ragland, getting Burrell involved early. There's the setback after getting blocked last point. Nice job there by Wisconsin. Float serve, finds D'Agostino. And there's Hubbard-Neil going just long, no touch.
Looking for the high hands, but not getting it.
It was funny on the last serve, Mitch looked over to the bench for a serving target out of habit, but you are in fact the coach on the court. Hubbard-Neil, a little stack over the top. Not a lot of hitting lanes when the pass pulls to that side of the net. So he's just a little communication about where you want that set. And once again, we've talked about how much success Hubbard-Neil has had hitting in row one. That's his 4th kill from the right side. Now a big for Milnaziak, dug by off blocker Mushikian, and he gets the set. He challenges Burrell and makes it work. Great transition swing from number 2, Mushikian.
Dig, scoop, and deliver, as we like to say, Nick.
Love to see it.
Well timed by Mushikian.
This is our challenge for the exposure outsides. Can you even it out? Can you make some plays happen? And there it is. But back to the middle, and Tom Burrell. I was curious what the stack was, why Milnaziak first, and maybe that's the answer. They think Tom Burrell is the X-factor mismatch that's going to bring them back into this match.
Well, you got to keep feeding them.
2 kills so far.
Those points.
Another great pass from Hubbard-Neil. Can Mercado find it? And he does. For the man that's got so much power, he's found a couple nice cut shots that just catches Untouchables sleeping a little bit.
I mean, it is a nice cut shot, and I'd like to see him try it on the beach too. But indoors, I mean, look, nicely executed. Credit to him for the point.
Nice pass by Rosa, a little tight, but pulls a block. Ofoha finds it, and Schwady finishes it off. Middles are getting their digs now. We've seen a couple from both sides.
Yep. Unfortunately, Ofoha didn't keep that on his side of the net, and it went right back over to Schwady for the overpass.
Tied at 5s. Ooh, nice serve from Burrell. Exposure out of system, and it's going to be a free ball essentially coming back for them. Now Milnaziak swings, but D'Agostino going after it. A tip into the corner picked up by Ragland. And now backside to Schwady with a big D-ball swing. That's going to be picked up by Burrell. Nice cover, but off the ceiling. Got to talk, got to find it. Ragland misses that, and a great move by Wisconsin, but got to keep your eyes on the ball.
That's unfortunate for the Untouchables as that ball bounced around the steel girders up in the ceiling and just kind of kept fading away from the Untouchable team members there.
Yeah, and that's tough because, I mean, Tom Burrell, love to see the middle making the big move to cover up his hitter there in the middle back, and just unlucky. But you got to play the gym. You got to know what you're going on with, and that's kind of one of those effort, play, hustle checks. Mercado goes back to his jump, cuts it short. Outside, and Milnaziak goes for that line swing again, but disciplined blocking gets Southern Exposure back in system, and Mushikian able to hammer that one high, and Ragland not able to handle the heat.
Southern Exposure, they're starting to smell that reverse sweep. I did say Southern Exposure in 3 earlier on. That was my prediction.
Yeah, you just meant after they were down 2.
Exactly.
I knew what you were saying.
I said that, didn't I?
You did. I heard it. Fans heard it at home, and if you disagree,
all right,
they can watch it back on YouTube. And if you're watching it back, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Support the NBA as we bring you great volleyball all summer long. You know, tough misserve from Mercado, but he was able to get 1 at the very least there. So still ahead by 1 point. We've seen Southern Exposure siding out well. Pressure is back on them, but D'Agostino right now is cold as ice back there, ready to pass another perfect dime. Lurich throws it over the top. We've seen a lot of middle offensive involvement from the side of the Untouchables. And now Southern Exposure answering back in kind with Lurich.
Yeah, credit to Tyler Hubbard-Neil as these teams switch sides here. Tyler Hubbard-Neil with a great pass, able to give his team and his setter Sullivan a chance to set the middle, as Lou Rich doesn't get the strongest kill, but a kill nonetheless, and a point goes on the board as Southern Exposure builds a 2-point lead, and we switch ends of the court here.
Yeah, at 8 points. You switch sides. No timeout is intended. The game always slows down a little bit, but it's meant to be right back into it. So on your screen right there, you see a front row Mitch Wiskershyn, which means that the Untouchables options are going to be Milnaziak and Balanzik. And the obvious option goes to the middle, but dug by D'Agostino. And now Lou Rich returning, but Schwady pulls it up, and there's going to be a chance. High ball reset. Untouchables scrambling back onto the court, and Hubbard-Neil attacking, but Schwady with a second dig and a dump over from Wiskershyn, dug by Mercado. Set to Mushikian in the middle. Ragland finds the dig. Schwady all over the place, and a huge swing, but it's kept alive, and that's just not going to go. Milnaziak puts that one down with a huge swing from over his shoulder. Kyle Schwady playing some stellar defense, pulling that one out of the stands.
Yeah, that was impressive by Schwady. He went head first into the front row spectators over there, kept the ball alive, but credit to Milnaziak with that big swing in transition, which the set came from Schwady all the way off the court.
Oh man, that's where that experience comes in. These guys have all played, you know, Milnaziak coming off of his last and final NCAA season, playing at, oh no, I'm spacing. It's escaping my mind. It's a fleeting thought, and out the door it goes.
Move on.
Yep.
Move on, Nick.
Kane University, there it is. Now D'Agostino resets on a tight pass by Sullivan. Oh, ooh, Hubbard-Neil finds the huge block, and there's Balanzik. That's the answer back Untouchables need as they find that 8-8 tied up. Scoring 2 straight points here after the side switch.
It's been a little while since we saw Balanzik get a big block and then celebrate with everyone on his team, and couldn't have come at a better time.
Ooh, Milnaziak launches that one long, not quite finding what he's looking for there. Now as an outside hitter, one of the best and worst parts about your job is you have the chance to make that back up with a good pass, but don't want to compound errors here in the variety of ways that you influence the game. So number 9 looking for a good pass here. Lou Rich for a jump serve. Targets Rosa. Ooh, another dig by Mercado down the line. Lou Rich tries to track it down, but unable to do so. And we have said it all day long, but big swings down the line, paying out leaps and bounds for the Chicago Untouchables. Big swing by Ragland. And now
serving substitution for the Untouchables.
Ramos in for Balanzik. Good service pressure and good back row defense. Just long and outside. Misses that one by less than a foot in both dimensions, but it's a tough one all the same for Untouchables to swallow this late in the game. It is a race to 5 now for Southern Exposure as they take a 1-point lead at 10-9. Back set to Schwady, a little bit outside of his body, but he adjusts. Sullivan to Ofoha in transition, dug by Schwady. Pulled block. Sullivan backpedaling, and that's going to be a double called. Tough location there.
Finally reached the limit of not calling any doubles, but that one was, I'm glad that one was called.
That was a good call.
Yes. Tied at 10s, Nick. 5 points to see who advances to the semifinals tomorrow.
I would not be surprised if we see a timeout called on the next point scored, maybe 2. Getting deep into the game. Not gonna go. Ofoha there with a big swing. We're seeing middle transition is a major option for Southern Exposure. 2 big sets in a row to Ofoha.
And it all starts with a pass.
That it
For
does.
some reason, number 10 in teal passed that ball.
Hubbard-Neil, once again, I talked about how he paid the man earlier on in set number 4, gets it again.
Yep.
Clearly his check didn't bounce at the bank, and he is good for another tape roll over for a 2-point lead. Southern Exposure, 12-10.
Little help from the equipment there, always welcomed.
There's the timeout, just in time, like we talked about, a 2-point lead. Cannot let that happen without answering back. And right now, I think the discussion for the side of the Chicago Untouchables has to be, we've got to get a pass, get the middle involved, and that's their answer. Other than that, I think the option, if it's not the pass they want, goes back to Schwede.
Yeah, well, it's do or die right now. They have to side out on this play, or else they're going to find themselves possibly down by 3 points. However, you know, they have to come out. First and foremost, they've got to get a great pass. Give their player coach an opportunity to set most likely a middle. I think it's Burrell in the front row. Get a quick kill and try to right the ship and see if they can score some points for their own with their service game. But you've got Schwede in the front row and Ragland, so look for a quick attack here, I expect.
Yeah, and that's one of the things as the league continues to grow, as the players that come into the league continue to have more experience. That's where a lot of these guys have been in this situation before, whether it be in college or internationally. So you look for that mental fortitude to make its way onto the court. And there, Rosa transitions into a nice offensive swing for Ragland on the backside. Sullivan not able to handle it. That's the answer back you want to see. Untouchables unwavering in their pressure and answer back nicely there. Kindly.
Nicely, kindly. This is all business right now, Nick.
Yeah,
no one's playing nicely or kindly.
Now we see Gomez coming in that late part of the match. See if he could anchor down some of this serve receive for Southern Exposure. Ragland float serve to D'Agostino. In one of the best sets of the match, Sullivan faces the net, quick flick back to Mercado. You know, we've been talking about the connection there, sometimes not finding Mercado the way he wants. Sullivan located that ball beautifully with a very difficult ball.
That was a very nice set. Mercado did a nice job adjusting to it, scoring the point for his squad.
Lev Gershfeld now in as a serving sub. Schwede attacking line, good block touch from Exposure. Mushikian, high off the hands, dug by Ragland. Mitch coming across, double block, high hands by, swing by Milnaziak, unable to be dug by Gomez. Untouchables just refuse to go quietly into the end of this match, down by 1. This is something they're gonna have to take advantage of right here, see if they can even this up at 13 apiece, because 14-12 feels like a bit of a death sentence potentially. It's a tough spot to come back from, so pressure on Burrell.
Yeah, big moments here.
Gomez with his hands, Lurich in the middle, but dug by Burrell back row. Reset, and Ragland's gonna take this set. Milnaziak always finding an answer, always finding the hands, going after Mercado right there. Uses him. Some solid middle play there. We saw a dig by Burrell. We saw a set there by Milnaziak in the middle.
Yep.
Even if they're not hitting and blocking, they want to find a way to be involved. Tied at 13 apiece. Gomez takes first ball. Outside to Mushikian. High off the hands, dug by Ragland. Schwede squeaks it through, falls over backwards.
Schwede landed on the referee stand there.
Gonna get a little bit of a technical breather here as the refs reset the stand, wipe down the court as Schwede took a little flat back in over there, and Untouchables up by 1, 14-13.
Point now
match
for
point.
the Untouchables. I would expect to see a timeout called here
after all said and done.
This is all cleaned up.
We always talk about it, the importance of match management. Sometimes you'll see floor captains that some teams habitually bring it in after every point, some teams don't. But if they don't, that's where you'll see captains make sure their guys start coming in every time. It's a way to slow the pace, give you a chance to talk about it. And there it is. Tony Glessner calling that timeout, gonna have a little talk with his guys. And so we're not gonna cut away on this one. I wanna keep talking what's going on right now in this match, because with Johnny Gomez and D'Agostino on the court, you've got some of the best passing back row of any team, any option in the league could hope to have. I think it's all about minimizing the opportunity for, I believe it's Mushikian, to take that pass. So I want Gomez and D'Agostino taking up the majority of the court. Let him focus on hitting. Get that first ball pass that you're really looking for. Go to Tim Lurich. Number 8 is your man. You've relied on him all season long. Trust in him right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. You got to look at going first option quick if you're Southern Exposure. Lurich just had a nice match. Sullivan's got a great connection with him. Maybe not a front one. Maybe look for like a back one or even a little bit of a push just to create some space because he's got the 7-footer Milnaziak right in front of him.
Yeah, a little push. Maybe even throw it back to Mercado so he might have a one-on-one option right there. Mercado's been hot thus far.
Match point right now, Nick, for the Untouchables.
Oh, Gomez puts them out of system. Mercado for the reset, taken by Burrell. Now a big from Ragland. Covered by Burrell, goes over. Exposure with another chance. And Mercado chops, but that's picked up by Schwady. Wiskerson goes back to Schwady, and Schwady swings, but a block move by Mushikian makes sure that one doesn't squeak over the net. Some sloppy plays, some clutch plays, but players were determined not to be making terminal errors there. Mercado having to kind of keep a couple sets alive, but you know what? At this point in the match, let your guys play. We'd love to see that. Don't be the one that makes the terminal error. 14-all. It is a race to 2. We are going the distance and then some.
Overtime, Nick. Extra volleyball right now.
Love to see it.
For a ticket to the semis.
Ragland puts it high in the middle of the court. Schwady manages. He gets puts that ball off the hand of Mushikian, which then goes into the antenna. And there it is. Chicago Untouchables once again back in the driver's seat. Match point right there.
Match point number 2 now for the team from the Windy City.
Schwady lost speed, catches D'Agostino.
Oh, no. Oh my gosh.
High ball, Mercado swings, dug by Schwady. Lurich deflects it down, absolutely on the plane of the net. Right now, Southern Exposure is getting some bailout points. They are not taking care of the first ball the way they need to. And Mercado, we both held our breath there. That swing was less than ideal for a righty, 30 feet into the court to try and put over. But they get an option. Ragland with the pass, middle Milnaziak, but he's shut down in a double block from Lurich and Hubbard-Neil.
I am just so confused as to why Jake Milnaziak has not gotten a hitting attempt in the last 4 points.
They thought their 7-footer was the answer there, and now Southern Exposure turning the table 16-15 with a 1-point lead, and their match point looking for a reverse sweep.
No timeout called. Match point, Southern Exposure.
Ragland again, set to the outside, and there it is. Swing off the head of Lurich. D'Agostino tracks it down. It's picked up. Sullivan's going to bump set it over. Doesn't sure how many touches happened. Wiskerson goes outside to Milnaziak once again, and a big swing once again to the surprise of nobody at all. You see Milnaziak using the hands that time of Tim Lurich, finds a small seam and able to exploit it, tying us up at 16.
Oh my goodness, Nick, I can't believe what I'm witnessing right now.
It is so rare to get to a set 5 and see both teams still ready to just battle it out. Sometimes you see someone kind of roll over, score 8 or 9 points, and it's kind of a lackluster finish. But here we are, looking like we're going another game to 25. A quick reminder that the next match is going to be the Tyrants and the Stunners, slated to start at 1 o'clock. As of right now, it looks like we should still be on track for that. Those teams have been warming up, but we want to make sure they have ample warm-up time. So if that match does push just a little bit, that's why. But that's why we also allot 3-hour blocks of time, so that there is plenty of time to play a full, exciting 5-set match and have both teams warm up. Milnaziak cranks that one down the line. Great pass by Mushiki and backside to Lurich, the 5-ball. Rosa to Schwady. Schwady into the tape, doesn't even get that one over. And that's going to be match point number 2 now for Southern Exposure. We saw Lurich get the 5-ball last time and have some success with it. Just, you know, move the offense around. I guess that's their plan.
I guess that's the philosophy there, and it worked on that one, although now we'll see the Untouchables take a timeout. But, man, nearly speechless.
Yeah, it is.
This is crazy.
You know, after a match that was kind of riddled by ups and downs, some serving that wasn't ideal. I'm glad that we're getting this as our capstone to end this one, because this is really what both teams, I think, are they're playing high-level ball right now. We're seeing a lot of errors being mitigated, they're being avoided, and just we're seeing good play from both sides.
Yeah, I agree, and it's a shame that we didn't have this level of volleyball from the very first play of the game, but obviously for us to witness, it's nice to see, and obviously this is the product that both teams want to put out, the entire time. So.
Certainly is, and we keep talking about Tyrants and Stunners. Whoever wins this one does not have an easy road. Then again, as we've seen all season long, every team's willing to take matches off of everyone else, so I don't think there is an easy road.
A lot of parity in this league.
Blue Ridge to jump serve now, someone that's generally been a consistent server for Southern Exposure. Attacks Ragland. Great pass, but Ragland is the option. That one is in. Absolutely great call right there. Ragland, that's he battled with that serve pretty well, but he was really the only good settable option, so
yeah,
bails himself out there well, and we're tied back at 17. Milnaziak short, taken by D'Agostino. Hubbard-Neil with an option, chops off speed, dug by the 7-footer. Schwede tries to track it down, and now on a big move, Milnaziak unable to come up with it. Man, Schwede's been all over the court defensively, tracking balls down, gotten about 4 digs so far. He is trying to extend this one.
Great effort from Schwede to keep the ball in play. Unfortunately, it just sort of went the wrong direction there. But give credit to Milnaziak, making a dig.
Yeah.
Left back, 7-foot middle blocker, and a nice dig, just not returnable. And we've got match point, number 3 or 4?
Number 3 here for Exposure. Sullivan had a mixture. He started with that jump serve, went to a float during the 4th set. See what he does here. There's that float. Schwede's the choice, and that ball is out. And just like that, Southern Exposure 19-17. Schwede was their guy, but he goes down swinging. Whew. That is a nail biter for sure.
What a way to start the day, Nick. Credit to Southern Exposure for figuring it out, losing the first 2 sets to come back and win in 3. The reverse sweep, like we've been talking about, and in overtime. 19 serving 17. What a way to start the day.
Seriously, it's
the bar has been set.
Yeah, and I keep talking about it. This Tyrants OC Stunners matchup is going to be one of the most exciting ones, I think, potentially of the weekend, because these teams, the last time they played, Stunners had an 0-3 weekend to start out the season, and Tyrants have been hot ever since that win. But I don't think we saw the Stunners at their best. And Tyrants have been one of the few teams that continues coming back to every event noticeably better. So it's one of those things that as we get back into it here, it's gonna be a great match. So if you guys were tuning in as a fan of the Untouchables or of Southern Exposure or just a volleyball fan in general, don't go anywhere. We're gonna have tons of exciting matches coming to you all day long here on YouTube, as well as at nvausa.com. So that is certainly a that is a match to start us off, and we're always wanting to make sure, as not only as commentators, but as spectators and guys that just love the sport, you always want to see teams come out and just give it all they got. And while we're hoping for maybe a little bit more of a steady start, what a finish to end that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's playoff time. We talked about it, right? Everyone's been working towards this weekend. It's been on the calendar from the very beginning of the season. And we're seeing it was a slow start from Southern Exposure, like we talked about, but a great response. And, they've punched their ticket to semifinal number 1 tomorrow at 3 p.m. local time.
Yeah, and what that means is they're going to play at 3 p.m. and then they'll have at least one more match on Sunday. So for the Southern Exposure cool guy of the match, as they like to phrase it, we're going to throw it over to our sideline. Ira Thor, take it away.
Ira Thor here with our man of the match, Kyle D'Agostino. Wow. What a display of volleyball. You guys, your backs were against the wall. You're down 2-0 against a Chicago team that came out as a huge underdog. How did you guys battle back to take this one?
I mean, we had no choice, right? We were down 2-0, and if we wanted to keep our season alive, we had to keep going. And we came together as a group there in between the 2nd and 3rd set and decided that if we were going to be the ones that chose if we were going to move forward or not, We did a good job.
That's a happy bunch behind me, and you talked about in between that second and third set. I had an on-air interview with Coach Glessner during the match, and he said really at that point the only way to come back is to play your game. What did that mean? What does playing your game mean for this Exposure squad?
Well, you look at our team, we have depth at every position, and we do a really good job on blocking D. In the first couple of sets, we weren't really converting on blocking D. We were getting some touches, really good touches, but we weren't able to put balls away. In the third, I really think we put our focus in converting those transition plays, and once we did, it made the game a lot easier for us and opened up some points and some runs. So we have some good servers too, but we needed to keep them back on the line as long as we could.
Also looked like you guys came out with a renewed energy in that third set. There were a couple plays that were talked about on the air that were potential turning points, including some late defensive miscues for Chicago in that third set. What was the energy for you guys coming back knowing that, hey, this is it. This is the ride or die time?
Well, like I said before, we were the ones that were dictating our future. If we were going to stay alive, if we were going to move on. And we capitalized on their mistakes. And we did a much better job of that in the last 3 sets than the first 2. And we were able to move on from our mistakes a little bit better to stay mentally engaged.
That match we just saw, if there's ever a poster child for a match that what professional men's volleyball can be, I think we just saw it. Can you talk about what a match like that means for the sport and just the fact that these guys left everything. It wasn't just you, obviously, but you're a man of the match, but you guys left everything out there today.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look around the gym, you saw the crowd was getting really engaged. Everybody was up on their feet, just as we were, right? Everybody around here was excited as the players to advance. And I don't know, I think that environment in itself is exactly what makes professional volleyball professional. When you have people supporting each other, when you have people cheering for good volleyball, it's all good fun, and that's what we need.
Last question. With the win, you guys guarantee yourselves will be playing on the final day of the season, either in the championship or at least for third place. 3 o'clock tomorrow against the winner of this next match, against the Stunners or the Tyrants. Tough matchup, whoever you get. Your thoughts on the potential semifinal matchup.
Like you just said, whoever we get, it's going to be good. And I don't think we can get too caught up in who we're playing just yet. We're going to stick around and watch some of this match. But whoever it is, our job is just come prepared and ready to fight.
Well, they will come prepared to fight. They battled back from 2 sets to none down. Kyle D'Agostino, our man of the match. Southern Exposure on their way to the NBA semifinals. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much. That is, wise words from a man that has played all over the world, playing with Team USA. He's seen the highest levels, so that's what it's all about. The reverse sweep, Southern Exposure able to get the job done here with a 3-2 win. That was a nail-biter. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in about 35 minutes, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as the OC Stunners take it off against the Texas Tyrants. Don't go anywhere. I'm Nick England. This is Matt Prosser. That was Ira Thor, and we'll be right back here with the NBA.